on his injured foot, is expected to miss 5 to 12 weeks. Coach Frank Reich said it's an old injury. Jacob Eason takes first-team reps at practice with Wentz out. From ESPN's Adam Schefter, Eagles rookie receiver Devontae Smith has a sprained MCL. He's out 2 to 3 weeks. Smith, injured during practice Saturday night, is expected to be the Eagles' lead receiver this season. The NBA free agency frenzy begins officially in 3 hours. Among the marquee names on the market list, Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry, and DeMar DeRozan. Leonard opting out of his Clippers deal, not actually the best financial decision, in the opinion of ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
If he was 100% going to stay with the Clippers, he would stay into his contract and extend off of that. Also, if he had done that, he would have enabled the Clippers to apply for a disabled player exception, which would have given them a $10 million one-time exception they could use to sign a player in free agency that could add to that.
ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reporting the Heat's positioned itself to be the front-runner for Lowry. Paul hinted after the NBA Finals he's interested in returning to the Suns. For the latest on free agency, tune into the 6 Eastern SportsCenter on ESPN TV.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Happy Monday, everybody. Austin Lane, Action Sports Jax, ESPN 690. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Stayed cool with these temperatures. And let's be honest, Casey, I didn't really want to start my Monday off talking about Trevor Lawrence in a negative light. It's not fun. It's not what we do here. We're supposed to be the Sunshine and Rainbows radio station. Now, I wasn't at practice today, but what I've read, what I've heard, and we're going to talk to Mr. Sunshine and Rainbows himself in just a second here, but maybe Trevor had a couple interceptions, okay? Maybe he had a couple overthrows. Wasn't his best day. But long story short, is it timed at the panic button? Obviously, you know how I feel about it. You shouldn't be that worried quite, because we're going to have good days, we're going to have bad days. Everyone's got bad days. Everyone's got good days. I think so far Trevor Lawrence has had more good days than bad days. I'm not going to let one day of a couple interceptions here or there, a couple overthrows here or there, ruin the hype, ruin the intrigue, and ruin the magic that is Trevor Lawrence. Far from the contrary. Now, if Trevor Lawrence comes out tomorrow in full pads and throws more interceptions, well, then do I hit a little bit of a panic button? I turn it from 0 to maybe 1 or 2. I'm still not worried about it. What you look for in guys in those situations, when you get, when you have a bad day, is how do you bounce back from it? This is Trevor's really his first day today. That wasn't up to par, let's just say. And I'm very curious to see how he bounces back from it tomorrow.
He'll be just fine.
There you go.
It's good company. You know who else threw 3 picks today?
Who's that?
Patrick Mahomes.
Well, there you go.
See that?
There you go.
It happens.
There you go.
I did. There was a time where you had 2 picks today at practice. I was like, don't get the Bortles territory now. It's early in practice still. Yeah. Don't get the Bortles territory. We don't need that around here.
Yeah.
Hey, it happens. Looked like a little bit. One was offsides. Like, it was really hard. It's one of those practices where kind of the whole team's blocking your view.
Okay.
Like from where we sit and stand, because they're on the far field. So it's a little bit more difficult to tell exactly what's going on. But one was like a jumping off side. So you never know. Maybe he saw it, just let it fly. Who knows what he's thinking there. And then there was one near the sideline. Couldn't even tell if it was a pick or not. But usually the defense will celebrate and go kind of crazy when there's a pick, and they really didn't do it at that time, but it was a pick. So, and that was rolling out to his right. They got him on the move a lot, it looks like, and a lot of people have said that, like they're pretty impressed with his mobility. I think it was Rayshon Jenkins last week that said, I didn't know he was that mobile. So, listen, this stuff, I'm a guy that goes all the way back to Bortles, in the 5-pick day, which it just didn't. It's practice for a reason. Like, those things don't bother me. By the way, I will say this. I said to somebody, Trevor Lawrence will probably have a 3-pick game in his career.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I mean, he might have multiple. I mean, they all do. Everybody does. I don't know how many Tom Brady has. Didn't Russell Wilson do it right here in Jacksonville in 2017? Did he throw 3 picks in that game and then throw 4 touchdowns? Maybe it was just 2 picks and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like it might have been 3 picks. Peyton Manning obviously did it several times, many a times. I mean, the guys that can really sling it and throw it, it's going to happen. So that's where it's like, come on. Now it doesn't. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger threw 5-pick game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that nature. Listen, if we're going to go crazy about him throwing a spiral and a nice pass and a great catch by Laviska Shenault the other day and those kind of dimes that he's been throwing and look good, you got to certainly acknowledge when it's not so good.
Sure.
2-minute drill the other day I thought was a little sluggish the second time around. Usually, it's boom, boom, boom. It wasn't like that for them. And then obviously today was not great. But I did ask Travis Etienne about it because he's the guy that's seen him up close. The big question about Trevor Lawrence is how will he handle adversity? And when we think of adversity, we think losing football games. He just hasn't experienced it much. I mean, he really has not had to deal with it much. And it's a question that's, I think, a fair question. I think we talked to Dabo Swinney. I think you talked to Urban Meyer. I think you talked to others. I think we're all trying to figure that out. Like, how does he bounce back? So it'll be interesting to see what he does do tomorrow in practice from that vantage point. ETN was basically like, man, he just moves right on to the next thing. It's not like he completed every single pass at Clemson, Yeah. So, but I think that is a curiosity. This might be an early test to see that. It is not going to be all sunshine and rainbows for Trevor Lawrence this rookie season, and life in the NFL doesn't work that way. And so get an early glimpse, first week of practice as we begin week 2. And what will be cool is if he comes back and has a real sharp practice tomorrow in pads when that thing goes on, because there's going to be some energy to that practice, no doubt about it. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey here. Coming off the weekend, Casey all happy. The Rays swept the Red Sox. I tell you, man, the Rays just know how to win. Red Sox, I'm not concerned about the Sox, by the way. Sox played so well, they lose 4 in a row. I mean, you got to do that in the course of a 162-game season. So you can smile for a bit, Casey, but don't worry. We'll be back.
You should be worried.
I don't know. I maybe should be worried because the Red Sox have overachieved all year. I'm more concerned about the fact that the Yankees swept the Marlins. I don't like that.
Yeah.
We don't want to see any more of that.
It's the Marlins, though.
I understand, but I don't want the Yankees winning, okay? We don't need them to get any momentum. So maybe we'll talk a little bit baseball.
Tampa Bay's got Olympics. Seattle coming up and Baltimore coming up, huh? Not too shabby.
Yeah, could be a real good run here for the Rays. It already has been, but it could be.
Yeah, they've been playing really good baseball. They've won 4 in a row now. Red Sox get Detroit next. Probably got to take care of business there. Then they go to Toronto for 4. So the Major League Baseball is kind of fun right now, watching all those former Cubs hit home runs for their new
Makes
teams.
me happy. Oh, yeah. Yep. I love it.
And your Brewers just keep on cruising. Did they have a good weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it was fine, winning.
Yeah.
Just fine. I'm not worried about it. 7 games up.
The Reds are actually pretty hot right now.
Yeah, we're still 7 games ahead.
Is it 7 games up? And I think the
7 games
Reds
up.
might have won 6 or 7 or something.
Reds are providing theater, let's just say.
Well, that's good.
They're providing theater.
Theater is good.
Sure.
Big story, of course, in the NFL today. Carson Wentz going to have surgery. The fact that it's 12 weeks, you're talking about 3 months out.
Well, 5 to 12.
Yeah, let's take it on the high end. Okay.
Yeah.
Because from doctors I've talked to.
Okay. Do we know
the tape?
Do we even know what the diagnosis is?
Yeah, they said
Liz Frank?
It's not a Liz Frank.
Okay.
It's a bone injury that got loose, essentially. They said it probably started way back in high school.
Okay.
And it finally broke or fractured or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so they got to take it out of there. And but they said clear cut he has to have surgery. And you're right, it is 5 to 12 weeks. I do think if I'm the Colts, though, I can't sit here and hope for 5. I've got to err on the side of caution and say my game plan going forward is 12 weeks. And that means roughly probably 6 to 8 games of the NFL season. I don't even know whether their bye comes in. But does that make – I mean, you can't ride with Jacob Eason. They signed Brett Hundley. But can't they do better than that? I mean, can't they get a more proven guy? And does this – now that the news is out, now that you know what it's going to be, do you now plan for the first half of the year not having Carson Wentz? Because even when he comes back, you don't know how rusty will he be. Mm-hmm. So do you just plan on, okay, we need to get through the first half of the year with somebody, and who's that somebody going to be? Do you think this will spark them to act bigger than Hundley and stick with Jacob Eason and Ellinger?
I mean, I think it's obvious that you have to go after somebody else with more experience, because you have the team around the quarterback to be successful. We saw that last year, and at the end, Phillip Rivers just falls off a little bit. It could have been a different game in Buffalo. So Yeah, if you have the running game, you have offensive line, obviously, you have receivers, you have a pretty solid defense. All you need is the quarterback, and a quarterback with experience. And when I say quarterback with experience, we're not talking, a game record per se. You don't need Aaron Rodgers. What you need is a guy that can manage the game. And I know that quarterbacks don't like to hear that kind of verbiage of game manager. That's what the Colts need right now. And I think if you look at guys like, Nick Foles, like we've talked about last Friday, that guy would, I think, come in right away and fill the role that they need.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's plenty of options to go out there and get that won't cost a ton. Heck, it was like Nagy for Chicago basically said, come and get him.
Yeah.
If you saw that article about Foles, he was asking about him. And he's like, I can see why there's value in Foles. And I guess his contract's now done to like $6.5 million for this year. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a lot more than that. So maybe they ate a lot of the money last year. Or maybe there's some dead money involved that I was unaware of. But it's reasonable. And, Foles and Reich, and it's just so much that makes sense. He's the third-string quarterback in Chicago. Really, Chicago doesn't need Nick Foles hanging around. There's really no reason to have him. And really the criticism for Indianapolis, as well as they've built that roster, is how did you just rely on Carson Wentz either way? What if they were taking a big chance that Carson Wentz was going to deliver? They really have nothing else in the stable that's proven. You can like Jacob Eason, right? You can like Ellinger. You can like young guys on the roster. That's fine. But nothing else proven. It was an empty spot, and it's come to bite them a little bit right now here in August.
I'm going to give you 3 names. Who should the Colts go after the most? Nick Foles, Marcus Mariota, Drew Lock.
I think Drew Lock will be the most expensive because he's the guy right now in Denver.
No, Teddy, man. Teddy's going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Is that what they're saying out of camp there?
I just assume that Teddy Bridgewater is going to beat out Drew Lock. But, that's just me.
Maybe.
I haven't
read too much on which is the competition, but I would think he's still in play there. For that, either way, I probably wouldn't put Lock too high anyway.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
Because to be honest with you, I would go for the more proven guy like a Foles or somebody like that instead. So you said Mariota?
Marcus
Lock,
Mariota or Foles?
Or Foles. So, I would definitely take Foles over Lock.
Okay.
Mariota's interesting. Mm-hmm. The only thing about Mariota is I believe you have to do you have to not change your offense, but his skill set feels different than what it is. Although, he kind of played by a good offensive line in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. He's so erratic, and I don't know if I could. I really think Foles is their best option. He's so familiar with Reich. He sits behind an offensive line that's pretty good. He has a lot of people. He doesn't have to do that much. Now, you could say the same for Locke or Mariota. They go into a different situation. I would lean. I'm thinking Mariota. You got me thinking about that one because after with the show, I think Friday, I was looking around and somebody did say Mariota, and I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty good idea because of what's going on. I could buy into a little bit of Mariota. He's been around Gruden a little bit. He's done some good things in the NFL.
Dual threat.
He is mobile, so that gives you that threat of it. And I don't like the statue quarterback right now. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. I think the safer bet is probably a guy like Foles.
Sure.
Believe it or not. Me personally, I'd probably like the idea of Mariota because I like the guy that can move a bit. Mm-hmm. And Foles' statue in the pocket just scares the heck out of me, even with a good offensive line. Because what happens if somebody gets dinged up there too? So I'd probably say Mariota out of those 3. I would go get him. I think the Colts, because of the familiarity with Reich and Foles, it makes more sense to go get Foles. And by the way, I think you can get Foles off Chicago's hands pretty inexpensively because why are they even keeping him? Right? Sure. I think Mariota actually might cost you more because a guy like Gruden might say, hey, there's some value here in a guy like Mariota just in case Derek Carr goes down.
I'm looking right here. If they were to get Marcus Mariota, he would count $3.5 million against the cap this year.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad for a backup.
That's
fine. That's
keep in
backup
mind,
quarterback.
Indianapolis in a great situation to do whatever they want because they got a ton of money too.
Correct.
They're not cap strapped here.
Yeah.
They've got plenty of money. Mm-hmm. Most people thought they would spend more in free agency, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So they have put themselves in a position. They can get anybody they want. If they wanted to go trade for Deshaun Watson, I think they could afford Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
I don't see that happening, but they could seriously do just about anything, which is a nice place to be in. Again, this is a half-a-year rental is the way I would look at it right now, but you have to be prepared for the worst. And the bottom line is Indianapolis has a very good football team minus the quarterback right now. And so it's worth trying to go all in even if it's a bit expensive.
Yeah, if it's me, I'm taking a long, hard look at Marcus Mariota over anybody. I just think from his value in terms of being a dual threat guy, I think when Derek Carr, I forgot what week it was, when Derek Carr had the groin injury and he went down, I think it was against Miami primetime, and Mariota came in, he provided a spark. It's exactly what you want a backup quarterback to do, is come in, provide a spark, get your team motivated. I think Mariota would probably be the best guy just because in terms of that offensive influence that, Frank Reich has, I think Mariota could probably give you the most wrinkles. Now, keep in mind, it'll be very vanilla the first couple weeks because, you got to get him ingrained in what you're trying to do. But I think he gives you the most challenges for any defensive coordinator trying to go against him. I also think, number 2 would be Nick Foles, obviously, because there is a relationship there. I think anywhere else, people are like, well, Nick Foles, why? But the fact that you know who you're getting with Nick Foles, if you're the coach of the Colts, that makes a difference. And then, with Drew Lock, Drew Lock could ultimately be the ultimate boomer bust type of player, though. Because you have a situation in Denver where, did he always have the best weapons? Did he have the best offensive line? Did he have the best run game? Did he have a defense to have his back? Some can make some arguments and say no. What happens if you put Drew Lock and set him up for success on this Colts team? You're not really sure. So, once again, I'm not sure what the Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock battle is looking like right now. I think you had a Broncos team that kind of gave away a lot because they expected to get Aaron Rodgers in the draft capital. They expected to get Aaron Rodgers this year. That didn't happen. So, I think it's a team that's looking to reload even for next season now once Rodgers becomes a free agent. Yeah,
what's interesting about Drew Lock, and he's too young to kind of say it like this, but the fact that Ryan Tannehill went from Miami to Tennessee and has had the kind of success he's had, it does make you wonder about who's the next quarterback that's going to do something like that. I think we saw some flashes from Drew Lock, but I don't think there's a lot to buy into. And again, the sample is too small. So I'm not calling him Ryan Tannehill, but that's kind of what you're thinking about. You're like, hey, you bring him to a really good team. He's got stuff around him, but doesn't have to do as much. He's a little bit older now. Does Drew Lock thrive in that kind of situation? So it'd be an interesting question, and however their scouting says it. I just think you're right. I think it's a third option out of those couple. The bottom line is for Indy, they do have options. Again, because of their cap space, they have options. And I don't think any quarterback for them is going to be overly expensive. Now, they're searching. So, the teams that are maybe trade with them have a little bit of leverage here. If they can pick up the phone and want Nick Foles, sure, you can maybe get an extra pick or a higher pick. But I actually think there's just as much motivation to get Nick Foles off the books and all out of Chicago as there is for Indianapolis maybe to go get him. So that's why the marriage maybe even makes more sense. I think they'll be harder to do that with Vegas and Mariota, and harder to do that with Locke in Denver.
Yeah, I just think if you're the Colts right now, time is of the essence. Because if you do go after another quarterback, you have to get him in. You have to get him ingrained. And, you have to build up this chemistry here. Because keep in mind, the regular season for the Indianapolis Colts, it does not start out well. Seattle Seahawks, week 1. Rams, week 2. Titans, week 3. Dolphins, week 4. Ravens, week 5. Woo! That's a murderer's row coming at you the first 5 weeks for Indianapolis Colts. So once again,
be ready to go.
I'm not sure how you feel about Jacob Eason, but if you do go after a Foles or a Mariota or a Drew Lock, you better go after them as fast as you can and get these guys ingrained in your offense because you got some pretty tough defenses coming at you the first 5 weeks.
Did you get in more fights in camp before pads were on or after?
Ooh, definitely after pads. Because once pads are on, then that's when the shoving and the extracurricular activities take place a little bit.
Yeah. Because everybody's a little juiced. Was it like the first couple of days of pads, do you remember? Or is it just kind of like for you anytime?
For me, anytime I've been Britton opened his mouth. But for most people, it's like usually it's the first couple days and then it's like the long dog days of summer. So we're talking like week 2 of pads. You see a little extracurricular stuff. Why do you ask? Are guys getting chippy out there?
Well, pads go on really tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. There was a little chippiness today, though.
I like it.
Cam Robinson and Caleb on Chason.
I like it.
I kind of caught like this. So they're battling a little bit, and I didn't see the whole thing. I kind of looked over and saw the helmet flying for Cam Robinson.
Sure.
So I really don't, I offer you this without a lot of context. I don't know if he was hot. I don't know if he was tired of Caleb. I don't know if he was mad at himself. I don't know what was going on, but he did kind of toss his helmet, and it rolled around a little bit. And then I looked at Chason, because I knew they were going at it a little bit in terms of just one-on-one stuff, and Chason was kind of on a knee. So it was almost like they both went to timeout for a minute.
Sure.
And then Walker Little gets up, and then a few reps later, Walker Little and Chason, and they had some pretty good reps going, and Little got the best of them there. And he wanted another rep at Chason after.
Walker Little said he wanted another rep? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, you can tell when the drill was over, it was like he wanted another rep.
I like that.
So
I like that mentality.
It was like Cam Robinson and Walker Little, in my estimation, again, you were kind of doing some interpretation here.
Sure.
I don't think they were too happy with Chason today.
Oh, I mean, it was one-on-ones, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, generally, like, if you're talking about some of the first breakout training camp fights, they're going to happen in one-on-ones. Now, see, one-on-ones, there are a bunch of, like, unwritten rules and stuff and rules you got to abide by. When you take the pads off, I mean, those get amplified, right? Because you're not wearing pads. So it's like, well, if you're, there's a certain amount of stuff you can get away with if you're not wearing pads in one-on-ones, right? But usually, and this is more of an offensive lineman thing, usually they're the ones that want to kind of add a little more physicality than should be added.
And it looked like they were, actually.
Because very rarely are you going to have somebody bull rush on a one-on-one drill without any pads on. That's not cool. Like, you're not going to see a defensive end do that. Now, I'm not sure what caused it today with Kayvon Chason, but all I know is if you're talking one-on-ones right now and they're very highly competitive, it's going to end in a fight just because you're not wearing pads. So a rule will get broken, whether it's, bull rushing, whether it's pushing after the whistle, whether it's holding. One player out of that group will feel the right to fight.
Yeah, I don't want to misrepresent it. It wasn't like a brawl or anything. It was just kind of like, you could tell people were it was a little antagonistic in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Well, especially because all eyes on you, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a team period, you can hide behind the other four guys or five guys on the defensive line, offensive line. If it's one-on-ones, all eyes are on you. And if you get punked, you get punked in front of the whole team, in front of your peers.
Pads go on. Everybody gets so excited about pads going on for a couple reasons. It's a little bit different. And it's real football, finally.
Oklahoma drills, baby. Let's go.
No. Just you were out there all by yourself.
Urban Meyer shut that down real quick when I brought that up.
Hey, some observations from camp today. We'll go there first, and obviously plenty of Jags training camp talk. Hope you had a good weekend. Thanks for hanging with us. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Today, partly cloudy with midday and afternoon heavy showers and storms. Temperatures will stay hot in the low 90s. We will be tracking scattered storms well into the evening hours, with temperatures overnight dropping into the low 70s. Back into the mid 80s on your Tuesday, with partly cloudy skies tracking showers and storms well through the afternoon and evening. We will just rinse and repeat for your Wednesday, with temperatures staying cool in the mid 80s. I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Alyssa Pedgick.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beard's Diamonds.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
As a business owner, time wasted is money lost.
Ugh, I have to call Dave. That's like 10 numbers.
Who has time for that? You should boop Dave instead.
Dave's married.
Push to Talk is back from Peak PTT, and with a boop, you can get in touch with Dave. One boop. Peak PTT sends your phones programmed, charged, and ready to go right out of the box. You can boop Dave, boop Paul, boop Sheila.
Yeah, I could see Boop and Sheila.
Nationwide. Then you can boop the heck out of Dave.
I said Sheila.
Connect immediately, every time. BoopToTalk.com.
As vacations come to a close, schools are about to reopen, crime is on the rise, and homeowners are worried for their family's safety and personal property. Do I need cameras? Do I need a security system? These may be questions you're asking yourself. That's why Safe Touch's licensed professionals are going to guide you through the whole process. Imagine never leaving your family home alone again. The Safe Touch two-way communicator is the push of a button away. Anything from a bruised elbow to a stranger at your door. Maybe it's your car sitting out all night that worries you. The Safe Touch camera provides notifications before your car's even touched, and video with 24/7 recording. For everything that's important to you, SafeTouch has you covered. Their verified response guarantees the fastest possible emergency response in the industry. SafeTouch consultants are registered fire and burglar agents with the state. You can have 100% confidence in the design and installation of your SafeTouch system. Get your free consultation today and see the SafeTouch difference. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. Florida license number EF 0000233 and LVA 004188.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
For the ones going above and beyond. For the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand. For the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. Backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Personal injury law firm Fair & Fair is now accepting applications for its second annual Empowering Greatness Scholarship Program. Fair & Fair will award 5 rising high school seniors across Florida a 2-year college plan. The plan prepays tuition, registration fees, and 60 credit hours at any of the 28 Florida colleges. To be eligible, students must attend a public or charter school. Visit fairandfair.com/scholarship.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Purchasing home and auto insurance? Do it the Simply way with Simply IOA. Compare quotes and buy a policy online or over the phone. Search Simply IOA or call 844-TALK-TO-SIMPLY. Simply IOA. Insurance the Simply way.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
It was different. I've never experienced fans at practice, and it's really cool to see everyone come out. You can see how excited everybody is for this year, and we're all just ready to win. I know these fans deserve it. They've been waiting, and then that's part of my job to come in here, help us win. And we got a great group though, so I'm really excited.
That is Trevor Lawrence. He talked over the weekend to the media. Threw 3 picks today. Maybe it was our fault.
Hyped him up too much.
That's the story of camp.
It's the 690 curse.
Yeah. That's the observations. Let me go there real quick, actually. How can you not notice, right? The big observation from Monday at camp, day before they get the pads on. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, it certainly will not go down as his best day. When you throw a few picks, it's very noticeable, and that's what happened. I don't think it's super alarming, kind of like you mentioned earlier in the show. I think it's going to happen. I kind of feel like that's why you practice a bit. Sometimes you go try stuff. You make mistakes. It's part of it. You don't want those to pile up. Just like you want the good days to stack up, you don't want the bad days to stack up for sure. So it'll be fun to watch and see if he can bounce back tomorrow. I think that's my biggest takeaway. I look forward to tomorrow, less about pads and more about Trevor Lawrence, seeing if he can bounce back. It did get a little chippy out there. Just told you before the break. Kayvon Chason, Cam Robinson, Walker Little looked like they had highly competitive moments during some one-on-ones, which is great. And that's on the eve of, again, pads going on and football really starting, as a football player would say and coaches would say. So the competitive nature of that, and it's so hot still. So there's some crankiness going on as we enter week number 2, even though they had a day off yesterday. And, I'm going back to Urban Meyer for observation number 3. It's less about what I've said about Urban in the past. But you know what's really hard not to notice is Urban coaching like every position. he bounces around and he is right in the middle of it. He's really, obviously, all coaches are going to roam the field, some kind of sit in a cart on the side, watch it and blow the whistle and do all those things. I really noticed, over the weekend, DJ Chark, a lot of one-on-one attention prior to practice. Our cameras caught that. We had a story on that with Marcel Robinson last night on Action Sports Jax Primetime. But today I saw him going to work with, kind of interrupt a tight ends drill and kind of show some things with the tight ends. We've seen him working with the receivers a bit. Of course, he was a former receivers coach back in the day. Yeah. And then he went over to the offensive line, and he's right in the middle of the offensive line. Seen him right on the line of scrimmage on special teams, making sure everybody's lined up right. I mean, he's got his nose in it. You're saying, Brett, he's the coach. Of course, no, I'm just telling you, he looks a little different. Like, he is physically doing things with players, showing them this, telling them to do that, even maybe not overriding, but adding to what a position coach might be saying. I thought it was noticeable once again today. That looks a little bit different to me, how heavily he's involved in some of that teaching.
Yeah, this is obviously an offensive-minded guy, and he has a certain way that he wants this to look. Whether it's the offensive line, the tight ends, the wide receivers, he has a certain way how he wants these guys to go about their business. And it's cool to hear that, whether it's a position group or, a team drill, he's there, he's overseeing it, and he's making sure that he's coaching it the right way. You like to see that.
I try to see what's different. I try not to get wrapped up in, there's a new energy out there and all that. We've had a lot of coaches come through here now in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and when a lot of energy.
There's always, everybody says the word tempo, and I think everybody has a different way to do it. Roy Robertson Harris was funny today. He's like, I've never run so much. Like, I've run. I'm going to be in really good football shape. And, Urban Meyer doesn't want people walking on the field. So everybody's got a little thing to it. I think everybody has their own style. So that kind of stuff doesn't surprise me. But I feel like out there on the field, and there you see some different drills, and you see like Urban out there coaching the way I just described it, and really kind of in their face, not just a conversation, but actually taking the shoulder pads and or the jersey and saying, hey, do this, and very active. I would say the overall thought on that for me, again, from my view out at practice, is very much attention to detail. Attention to detail, attention to detail. I think all coaches have attention to detail. I think the greatest of coaches are really attention to detail, all the littlest of things. I think we saw the 2-minute drill worked on the other day. I think we're going to see a lot of that. In fact, Urban said on Saturday, we're going to do more and more of that. I think they're going to rep the heck out of that, because what he brought up is most games in the NFL are decided by the 2-minute drill at the end of the game. That's not always the case in college, and he noted that. And so I think you're not, again, teams rep the 2-minute drill. I understand it. But it kind of goes back to what, remember Teddy Bridgewater was ripping Carolina a little bit? For sure. What does he say, red zone and third down? I think you're going to see Urban Meyer rep the heck out of those kind of things. I think that goes along with attention to detail. We'll see it. We've only seen a handful of practices. But it's just noticeable to watch Urban Meyer so far. And I'll make one other note. Remember when Urban Meyer said, with all the health stuff going on, I'm not going to run around there like a maniac. I'm going to let my coaches do a lot of the yelling and screaming and coaching. And that's been true. You don't see Urban Meyer running around there like a maniac. So you got to take both parts of what I just said. He's very active, but he's not like running up and down the field, yelling, screaming, kicking, mad, all that stuff. Everything's very controlled and calm. And Charlie Strong said today, like, listen, if you don't like what he sees, he's going to stop that practice right there, pull everybody together, and be like, boom. And again, every coach does that. But he looks like he's doing it at a comfortable level from at least a health standpoint. And so I say he's living up to what he said so far, at least a week in. Yeah, for sure. And it is all about the details on any team. But it's got to be about the details for Urban Meyer as well. Because I guarantee if you ask any coach right now, or you poll any coach in this league, and you ask him, hey, do you think you have enough time to prepare for week one, of your game, or do you have too much time and you wish, training camp would be shorter? Not one coach in the right mind is going to be like, I'll be honest with you, 2 weeks or whatever, or 3 weeks, it's way too much time. Yeah. I wish we had less time. That's not the case. So everyone has the same amount of allotted time.
It's about what you do with that time to teach, because you can't teach everything. You know, like you can't make sure everyone's on the right page. That's where attention to detail and communication comes in. Because if you're still teaching guys week 3, week 4, hey, your footwork's off, your hand placement's off, well, then you're gonna fall behind the 8 ball, because now you can't advance. It's just like if you're in grade school, right, and then you're teaching cursive or whatever, right? If a kid's got problems with his A's or his E's, well, odds are he's not going to have success if you're trying to write full sentences. You got to start small and work your way bigger. It's the same thing with this team right now. If you're not preaching the basics and you're not on top of the basics, well, then you can't adapt to bigger and better things. And bigger and better things, obviously, is throwing in new wrinkles of this defense and implementing a new offense. So if you can't get the basics down, you can't go to point B. So that's why I think Urban Meyer is taking it upon himself to make sure, hey, we're doing the little things right, because we don't have much time here to get this stuff right. I'm brand new to this, this whole head coaching thing in the NFL. We got Houston, weeks away now. It seems like we got to be on top of things and we got to be ready.
I was thinking when I brought up Urban, what I try not to get a little crazy about is, okay, Urban's had a ton of success at the college level. What can he transfer that to the NFL level? Charlie Strong, again, we're going to talk one-on-one with Charlie Strong, what we already did, but you're going to hear that football at 5 a little bit later on. But, he says that acclimation process, that whole thing about coaching players and the buy-in here and everything has been pretty smooth. But I try not to be like, okay, well, Urban's doing it so different than everybody else. Coaching is coaching. Football is football to a degree. There's got to be a separator and a very good coach versus just a good coach. And so we're trying to find some of those things, I think, in Urban Meyer. Why has he had so much success? I think a lot of that was done in the last 6-7 months. Communication, culture, all of those things. But that being said, what I'm talking about, do you have like a super hands-on head coach? Jack, Andy Reid, was it Tressman?
Yeah.
Right? Who was the guy?
It would be Schwartz.
Schwartz in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, well, we had what? And then we had John Fox at the end. We had a good combination of defensive guys and offensive guys. Obviously, you talk about Andy Reid, and you talk about, I'm thinking of offensive-minded guys. Tressman. As far as the defense was concerned, absolutely not, because that's not their forte. True. But I also noticed, even like in training camp with Andy Reid, he was primarily on the quarterbacks, because I think that was kind of his forte. Every once in a while, you'd see him with the offensive line. I distinctly remember him giving Eric Fisher an earful one day, because Fisher, as a rookie at the time, didn't have a good day. Okay. So Andy Reid went up to him and kind of addressed that situation. So yeah, I think depending, and I remember Jack Del Rio always being involved. Right now, he wouldn't come to an individual drill and watch what we're doing, because he had to monitor the whole team. But after in film or whatever like that, sometimes he stops by the defensive line room, offers his thoughts, offers his advice, and you move on from there. So, yeah, I think even though we're talking about head coaches here, they all have their specialties. Whether it's quarterbacks, whether it's defensive line, whether it's linebackers, they all have their specialty. And I think they're doing themselves a disservice and the team a disservice if they don't at least teach the X's and O's on that position or positions.
Yeah, and I think you got to remember, so many of these coaches have just a vast background. Mm-hmm. They climb the ladder doing a bunch of different things. I mean, Urban's one of those, from all the way back to wide receivers coach to being a head coach for a long time. It's an interesting watch at this whole move. And again, I think we'll talk with Charlie Strong a little bit later, and you'll hear some of that, because he's in a new role. I mean, he's like in this assistant CEO role. He's been a head coach, been an assistant. He's going from college to the NFL. It's been fascinating to watch. And here's the bottom line. No idea how many games they're going to win. Mm-hmm. No idea how good this will turn out. No idea how long it's going to turn out. Any of those criticisms that people said way back in January when Urban Meyer was hired. But I would say this. In the first 6-7 months, it's been pretty darn good. I mean, from a team standpoint, you can see the buy-in. You knew it in the spring with all the participation. They have no drama whatsoever, knock on wood, here in camp.
Yeah.
There's a lot of buy-in to what they're doing with that rejuvenation, that sports science program, and we'll see if it works. But so far, it seems so good here in Jacksonville. And let's be honest, quite frankly, a lot of it had to change. Like, there's a lot to implement and turn around on this big ship that has been really going in the wrong direction for a long time. Not one person's fault, their own, but a collection of things that just haven't gone right. And Urban Meyer's tasked with trying to turn that ship around. And, well, I think so far it's at least headed in the right direction. Sundays in the fall will tell us a lot more.
No, for sure. I mean, it's fun to analyze it right now and say it's working and that it's great, but let's be honest. At the end of the day, when that report card comes out, it's going to be about the wins and losses. You're trending in the right direction, but until week 1 against Houston, we'll see.
You remember three pick day, by the way, for Trevor Lawrence. Do you ever remember like the worst quarterback practice day, or did it even register with a teammate? Like, will that register inside, or is it just going to be like a media fan thing?
I think you're on to the next one.
Yeah.
I don't think
you got to watch the film and stuff. So it's gonna...
Yeah, you got to watch the film, but like that. I mean, you're literally you play the next play. Like you watch the film. If you do good for you. You get to celebrate and bask in that greatness. If you do bad, it's on to the next play, and don't show it again, please, coach. But at the end of the day, you're on to the next practice. You don't have time to sit and dwell, especially in training camp.
I will say this. I still see a lot of good things out of number 21 out there. Number 21 out there, if you don't know, is Sidney Jones. Mm-hmm. He keeps catching my eye. And C.J. Henderson now missing a lot of field time.
Do we have word on him? I mean, he's
still on the COVID list. And so...
But do we know, does he have it, or does he know someone that had it? We don't know that part.
Yeah, we don't know exactly why C.J. Beathard wasn't out there today because of contact, not because he had it. But
Taven Bryan's still out as well?
Yes.
Okay.
O'Shaughnessy back today. Okay. Jamal Agnew back, really, for the first time this camp. So got some guys back. Some guys are still out. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Cam Newton threw for, I believe, 7+ in the first 3 games. 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. He rushed for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns prior to COVID. Now let's go post-COVID. Not very good. No Julian Edelman. No defense. And they still had an opportunity to win close to 10 games.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Or streaming live on the ESPN app.
Where else can you get lunch and brunch and booze and specials? Only one place, at Colhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the South Side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. ColhainesIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters Vodka at happy hour. Lunch and brunch and booze and specials and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the South Side. Colhane's Irish Pub, Irish Sass with 5-star class.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit Fields Auto. SportsCenter.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin. If it wasn't for football, I may have never made it through college. Whether it was classes going to that didn't really apply to what I wanted to do, whether it was taking unnecessary tests, the standard 4-year university, it's just not for everybody. If you're looking for a school that offers the kind of hands-on essential career training that can move you and your future in the right direction, you need to call my friends at J-Tech right now. Their only job is to give you the necessary skills and tools to make you an essential employee in whatever field you choose. Fields like automotive, diesel, HVAC, marine and RV, and transportation. And keep in mind, up to 84% of their graduates are employed in their field of choice right after graduation. J-Tech is now enrolling new students for their up-and-coming fall term that starts September 27th. To learn more about J-Tech, visit jtech.org, or better yet, give them a call at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. Once again, that's 904-483-9460, or visit jtech.org.
As a business owner, time wasted is money lost.
Ugh, I have to call Dave. That's like 10 numbers.
Who has time for that? You should boop Dave instead.
Dave's married.
Push to Talk is back from Peak PTT, and with a boop, you can get in touch with Dave. One boop. Peak PTT sends your phones programmed, charged, and ready to go right out of the box. You can boop Dave, boop Paul, boop Sheila.
Yeah, I could see booping Sheila.
Nationwide. Then you can boop the heck out of Dave.
I said Sheila.
Connect immediately, every time. BoopToTalk.com.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
The Dave single from Wendy's made with fresh, never frozen beef has the power to blow your mind. But now that the Dave single is buy one, get one for $1, as well as the spicy or classic chicken sandwich and the spicy or crispy 10-piece nuggets, Wendy's BOGO for $1 deal is gonna blow your mind and your speakers. Get these faves, BOGO $1 only at Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with combo or any other offer.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
This is a no-brainer. And listen, I'm not telling anybody to put some money down here. I don't have my own podcast talking about this stuff. But if you are putting all your money on Gun Cherokol to win the gold medal, you're doing yourself a disservice. Gun Cherokol will be taking home the gold medal.
Well, you were close.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Those are our predictions for our Olympic gold.
Now,
and then I forget about silver and bronze for you. But
now, how did he do again?
Did he finish?
Is he okay?
Have they let him back in his homeland?
Well, he finished. That's about all we know.
He finished the race. That's good. Do we know what I'm looking up right now? Oh, yeah, here we go. A respectable 45th.
45th. Very
45th.
good.
He shot -4.
-4. There was a lot of good scoring out there.
Yep.
Anyway, it was kind of cool, the Olympic gold. That I thought I had a chance just to. I'm actually glad I didn't get all three exactly right, because then I would have been really mad that I didn't put money on it.
Sure.
But I did pretty well. I think remind me. Let me see if I got this right, because this is what I was rooting for all weekend at least. I had Schauffele to win the bronze. I think I had Rory to win the silver, and I had Hideki Matsuyama to win the gold.
Wait, you had Rory Sabatini or Rory something else?
Rory
okay.
McIlroy.
Okay, gotcha.
That is exactly what you had, yes.
Yeah.
You blew me and Austin out of the water. I got a respectable second. Austin got a respectable third.
Who did you have again, Casey?
I had Cam Smith winning the gold. He finished T10.
Yeah, he was okay.
Patrick, if he wouldn't have shot even the first round, he would have been a lot better.
Well, and he actually had a putt. I think he made bogey on the last hole, or he might have been in the bronze playoff, I believe.
Yeah, so that was rough. Patrick Reed finished 22nd. I had him at silver.
Okay.
And Johnny Vegas finished 16th. I had him as the bronze.
Okay. Yeah, you said Vegas had been playing really good golf lately. That was like an insider pick that went wrong.
I mean, is T16 wrong?
I mean, it is when only top three matters.
Man, my guys sucked, huh? So let's see. Max.
Well, you did this based off anime.
Maximilian Kiefer, whatever. It's like like the beverage, the yogurt thing. Tied 45th. Gun Sherrick, that guy, tied 45th. And then who else did I have? I had
you had
Rikiya Hoshino.
That's him.
Tied 38.
All right.
You know what they say? T45 is the new gold medal.
It's a good point. I hope they all had fun, and that's what I care about. I hope they all had fun.
We watched a lot of the golf actually because of the timing it was on, so it was pretty good. Schauffele played well.
You know what flag that is? What country is Gun Sherrick from? What is that?
I don't know.
Gotta do some deep diving here real quick. Stand by.
That's a tough last name to even kind of figure out or guess.
And there we go. At least I typed his name and it comes up in Google search. Oh, Thailand. Thailand. There you go. Cool.
There you go.
Cool.
It was pretty good, but do you think they should? I love the fact there's only 3 places, right? So it was really cool. And they do the long playoffs. So they had 7 guys battling for the bronze, which is cool.
Let me ask you this. I know the Masters is king and everything, but let's say, would you rather win an Olympic gold medal or British Open or U.S. Open?
I do think every golfer would say a major championship, believe it or not. I think on the lie detector. Well,
that's surprising.
Not every. Well, because there's also folks in these fields, like this field, that get in that would never get into a major.
Oh, do you mean Gun Sherrick?
That's one of them.
Okay.
So he probably will compete in 0 majors in his life.
Yeah.
But he got into this.
Oh, do you mean Maximilian Kiefer?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Go ahead.
But I think the golfers you're talking about, I think they would unequivocally say a major.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really do. But there was something coming out of the weekend that was pretty interesting, and that was Rory McIlroy, who had kind of downplayed the Olympics. I don't know his exact comments, but he even acknowledged the fact that he had said some things in the past and that he was wrong about it. He said the whole energy, the whole Olympic feel, everything about it was pretty awesome. And so it was an interesting outlook from a guy who's won majors, a guy's trying to get a Grand Slam, who's one of the kings of the game, basically saying, my outside view on this wasn't exactly the way it was when I got here, and it was really cool to be a part of it. So I maybe have to experience it to really answer the question, but I still believe I think Rory's a little bit disappointed, but I still think right now he'd take a Masters and finish that Grand Slam, and it would be bigger than the gold.
No, and I agree with you here because, I can't name the last Olympic gold medalist in golf. I simply can't do it. So I feel like, when we talk about the echelon of majors and like what's the most important, the Olympics, okay, it's not celebrated like it would be a major. But at the same time, in terms of like the pomp and circumstance, like yes, there's nothing like getting a green jacket. Like that means something, obviously. But like to stand on the podium, get a gold medal, and to hear the national anthem play, regardless of the sport, like I feel like that's got to be pretty special as well. So, I mean, I agree with you. I'd probably say U.S. Open, British Open, all those things in terms of money as well. But in terms of just, getting that gold medal and saying you're Olympic champion is pretty cool.
Well, and golf hasn't been played in it forever and ever and every year. So it's kind of this very unique honor right now if you do have it. And again, the uniqueness of the tournament. I mean, every tournament these guys play in, if you make the cut, you cash a check. That's not the case in this. And it actually begs the question, should we have another event that's like it? I just don't think you'd get a good field because if only you're going to pay 3 spots out and that's it, you're not going to get all the golfers to participate in that. I think the draw of making the cut and cashing a check is there. So, but that's really what I like about the Olympic, model. Is that you got gold, silver, and bronze, and that's it. You finish. Guess what? Those 6 other people that finished tied for 3rd but didn't win the bronze got nothing.
Nada.
Got nothing.
Got some TV time.
And they were like okay with it. Rory was like, I mean, it sucks, but it was cool. It's very surprising. Like Colin Morikawa was in there, and he was like, well, I didn't win, but it was cool. It's like you'd never hear that if they lose a playoff anywhere else.
That's a good point. I do have this one question that I wondered all weekend, never looked it up. Did we know why Rory went without the hat?
Yeah, so he does this in the Ryder Cup too. He said his basically his head is super small and his hats are all very custom made. So when you can't wear like
the
a
logo
custom made
stuff?
so like he couldn't get a custom made Ireland hat, so he just said sunburn on my head.
Hey, Ireland, one of your greatest exports in sports, you can't get the guy a fitted hat to fit the dome?
I'll tell you, it was
what are you talking
it was
about?
so eye-popping to me every time I saw Rory and he didn't have a hat on. It was weird. It's like so weird to see him without a hat on.
Get off the Conor McGregor hype train real quick and focus on Rory
Conor
McIlroy.
McGregor's got a fitted hat.
Yeah, he's probably got a fitted cast right now on that leg. And you can't give Rory McIlroy a fitted cap in 2021? Wow. That should be a bigger story, I think.
It is a pretty big story.
Yeah. Who else is it? Name one other Irish Olympian right now. And go. I rest my case.
You can do this, Brent.
Really?
The other golfer.
Oh, well.
Lowry.
But besides golfers, I guess.
By the way, the Schauffele story is a cool one. Did you see that with his dad? Like, his dad got in an accident, and he was he might have been an Olympian.
He was a decathlete, right?
Yes.
I think, yeah.
And got in an accident and blind in one eye. So a pretty neat story around Xander Schauffele and what it meant to his family. I thought the golf stuff was cool. A little bit more Olympic talk later because I have a story, a question about Dressel as it pertains to Jacksonville and just about the Olympic kind of viewing in general here in Jacksonville. Just a thought or two.
Is there a parade for Dressel?
I tell you, well, not only him and Murphy. I mean, now with all the all the medals they have, you know. And
hey, I'm gonna need to hold one of them. One of the medals. You got plenty of them now. Just let me. Just a day.
We can make that. I think we can make that happen.
Okay.
All right. We can try to make that happen.
All right.
We'll be back.
All right.
Action Sports Jacks. Back to some football on ESPN 690. Temperatures keep climbing, and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure the water you and your family drink is cleaner, healthier, and tastes great. It starts with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by the pros CGC Water. Not sure about your water? Call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. I haven't had to worry about my water since I got mine installed because Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of the contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, non-electric, twin tanks that use less salt and water during regeneration. Save up to $500 on select softener and RO systems this month. Financing available with approved credit. Call CGC Water at 904-552-1242. Call and ask about Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Tell them Brent sent you and find out all the details and all the great ways you can save. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
As vacations come to a close, schools are about to reopen, crime is on the rise, and homeowners are worried for their family's safety and personal property. Do I need cameras? Do I need a security system? These may be questions you're asking yourself. That's why SafeTouch's licensed professionals are going to guide you through the whole process. Imagine never leaving your family home alone again. The SafeTouch two-way communicator is the push of a button away. Anything from a bruised elbow to a stranger at your door. Maybe it's your car sitting out all night that worries you. The SafeTouch camera provides notifications before your car's even touched and video with 24/7 recording. For everything that's important to you, SafeTouch has you covered. Their verified response guarantees the fastest possible emergency response in the industry. SafeTouch consultants are registered fire and burglar agents with the state. You can have 100% confidence in the design and installation of your SafeTouch system. Get your free consultation today and see the SafeTouch difference. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. Florida license number EF 0000233 and LVA 004188.
I will hug my mom.
I can't wait to embrace my brothers and sisters from choir.
We ask people what they would do when they get back to their loved ones.
I'll do a big barbecue and squeeze every face in my family. My brother, he better be ready for that bear hug, too.
I need to hug my girls. Millions of people are getting vaccinated. It's our chance to get back to what we miss so much safely. And for people at higher risk of COVID-19 complications because of diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart conditions, or if you're a heart attack or stroke survivor, the COVID-19 vaccine is an important choice. With every vaccine, we are closer to a future free of COVID-19. The vaccines are safe, effective, and the right response. Getting back to life. Set your heart on it. It's up to you. For more information, go to heart.org/vaccine. A message from the American Heart Association.
Today is your day to save during the national sales event at Arlington Toyota. Arlington has over 700 new Toyotas available, all on sale now during the national sales event. Why buy new from Arlington? Because you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and unlimited miles with your purchase. And buy with total confidence thanks to Arlington's worry-free 30-day exchange policy. The national sales event is on at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Money back guarantee. Protect your family's future today at meetfabric.com/sports. That's MEETfabric.com/sports. Fabric Insurance Agency policies issued by Vantis Life. Not available in New York and Montana. Prices subject to underwriting and health.
This is SportsCenter.
Jacob Eason will continue to receive first-team reps in practice. Whoever's under center for the Colts the first 5 games of the regular season, it'll be a major challenge facing the likes of the Seahawks, Rams, Titans, Dolphins, and Ravens, notes ESPN's Jeff Saturday.
They have a brutal schedule the first 5 weeks. And so I think rookie, Hundley, you name it, I think all those guys will end up struggling with the front 5. Of the beginning of the Colts season. It is a true gauntlet, so I think it's uphill battle.
ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting Eagles rookie receiver Devontae Smith expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks with a torn ACL. One of the sports highlights of the summer tipping off at 6 Eastern today, NBA free agency officially. Some of the big names on the market include Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry. For the latest free agency news, tune into the 6 Eastern Sports Center on ESPN TV.
What? Just 15 seconds to talk about Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea? That smooth taste of real brewed iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol? What? We started already? Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for it in the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Good week, yeah. I feel like definitely made a lot of strides individually, but as an offense and a team since the spring. You kind of see everyone getting comfortable, learning the system. It's a really good week. I didn't have the best day today, but that's what training camp's about, working out the kinks and really just owning our offense and the situations that we're going against.
That's Trevor Lawrence. By the way, that was on Saturday. He didn't think he had the best day, and I think a lot of that was with the 2-minute drill. Funny thing is, you can see the previous time they had done 2-minute drill, they went up and down. They just marched right down the field. A couple of nice connections to Marvin Jones. That was on Saturday. Even today, the 3 interceptions are going to get the headlines, of course. There are a lot of nice throws and nice plays in there, too. I think one of the most noticeable things is I know he's mobile, but it's how much, at least you see out there, that they're moving him around. I wonder if that's something that they will do a lot, or they're just testing it. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they determine that, if that will vary. Does moving a quarterback, are you playing to the strengths of the quarterback, or are you game planning against the defense?
I think
what forces your hand to do that more? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. I think that if you look at the way the NFL is today, you have to have a guy that can extend the play a little bit, just because whether it's athletic defensive linemen or exotic blitzes, you don't have a lot of that time in the pocket if you're just going to be a statue back there. So I just think it's more of adjusting him to the modern era NFL now. You see Patrick Mahomes do this. You see Russell Wilson do this. Deshaun Watson do this. Josh Allen, you have to be able to run around the pocket a little bit and sometimes extend the play need be and throw a guy open. So I think it's just Urban Meyer realizing that, adapting to that and saying, hey, Trevor, very rarely are you going to be in the pocket comfortable, at least right now in training camp. We need you moving around. We need you on the run.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the quarterbacks that are on the run that come to mind, right? I would say Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and even Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I mean, you could think of running guy, obviously Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. And, heck, I always talk about Josh Allen last year. The most impressive thing was the throws outside the pocket. I think about Patrick Mahomes. How much of that is designed and how much of that seemingly is off schedule where he's trying to create more time?
Well, you remember when, I briefly chatted with Matt Patricia. This would have been 2 Senior Bowls ago now.
Yes, I remember that.
And I asked him, like, hey, out of all the teams, you played Patrick Mahomes the best with the Detroit Lions, when you're calling that defense. What did you do? And he clearly said, you know what? Most teams want to blitz Patrick Mahomes and make him feel uncomfortable. That's not how you make him feel uncomfortable. You make him uncomfortable by letting him sit in the pocket and trying to wait back there and diagnose a little bit, because the internal clock goes off your head. It's like, well, I got to do something right now. If he's on the run a little bit, the internal clock gets, it gets upped a little bit just because now, okay, you're on the run, you're trying to make a play happen. So as opposed to blitzing somebody like Matt Patricia saw other teams do, he decided, hey, let's just send 3. Every once in a while, let's send 4. But let's wait back and let's make Patrick Mahomes make the mistake. And that's why they had so much success. Now, let's be honest. It's Patrick Mahomes. Even if he sits back there, eventually he could probably pick you apart.
True. Yeah.
It's kind of like the less of 2 evils. But I just feel like if you have a quarterback that's on the move a little bit, that's on the run, it just kind of adds a little more confidence as opposed to him just staying in the pocket and now that internal clock's going off.
Yeah, I think when you have somebody that has such a good arm, right, and a live arm, and those guys that we mentioned really do, right? Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, they have plus arms, great arms. I think even Russell Wilson, what does he like to do? He likes to throw the deep ball.
Sure.
So the more time he can develop, and that's what I kind of see in Trevor. I think we will see some of that with Trevor because I think there's a little backyard in a player like that that likes to air it out.
Yeah.
Now, Trevor's precision game hopefully is good too. Accuracy is super important. All those guys that I mentioned have that too. And you can stick it into windows, and there's a benefit to that. But I think the plays that will stand out, the plays that we'll kind of remember are those ones that get a little off schedule, buy a little time with the feet because he's got the ability to do so, and then boom, just let it fly and let those guys run under it. Those are the plays that really can separate you because not a lot of guys, not everybody in the NFL, even the good quarterbacks can make that. Tom Brady can't usually do that. He's not going to, it's not part of his game.
No, for sure. But remember, anytime that a quarterback's scrambling out of the pocket, and whether it's an extra extended 1 second or 2 seconds or 3 seconds, that's 1, 2, or 3 seconds that corner has to cover that wide receiver even more, right? And it's not conducive to a successful defense, whether you're playing man or whether you're playing zone. If you can extend an extra 2 to 3 seconds, that's almost an eternity in terms of trying to play zone coverage, almost an eternity of trying to go man-to-man against a very skilled receiver. That's why guys get open. That's why you see Tyreek Hill, 8 out the gate, or Travis Kelce down the middle. It's because Mahomes can do such a great time of buying time where it's like, eventually these guys will get open. They're too talented, too athletic, too quick not to.
Got another question about Trevor in a moment, but let's hear from Urban Meyer over the weekend talking about the first overall pick.
He's good. His skill set's there. The thing is that everybody's got to remember that defense is not allowed to make a play on the ball right now. And that's what happened in spring when all of a sudden we get fined because we have 2 defensive backs go after a ball. So they've been, our defense, I told them today, it's over now. Now go make a play. Next week we can start that. So all you can evaluate now is retention and skill set plus. Now the real stuff starts next week.
Well, that was Saturday. The real stuff started in 3 picks in order. That defense went and got the football a little bit here this morning in Jacksonville. Haven't asked this question. Didn't even prep you for it. But here we go. Give it your best shot.
I like it. Spontaneous.
How do you think defenses will plan for Trevor Lawrence? Now, keep in mind here, when I ask that question, I think defenses will have to plan for him. Everybody knows what the quarterback's strengths and weaknesses are. But let's think about seriously how many times people lost sleep or stayed up a little extra to prepare for the quarterbacks of the last decade here in Jacksonville or even beyond. It just hasn't happened very often, right? I mean, hey, take this away, or what did they all say, really? Stop the run and let this guy beat you. That's what they did. They basically said, let's load the box, let this guy beat you. I don't think you can say that here in Jacksonville anymore, right? A defensive coordinator, a defensive game plan during the week isn't going to be like, hey, if we stop the run, we win the game. That guy can't beat you. I don't think you can say that anymore.
Yeah. If I'm the defensive coordinator planning for Trevor Lawrence, and keep in mind what I have to go off of right now. There's obviously no NFL film out there, right? So I have to go off of college tendencies and eventually what I see in the preseason, however limited that is. It's simple. I send the house at him every single play. And I do it in an exotic way where he has to call it the blitzer. He has to call it the coverages with help of Brandon Linder, obviously, too. But I especially blitz him up the middle because that's where I've seen him have the most, problems, let's just say. And you saw that it would have been in the national, the semifinal. Exactly. So that's what I would do. And for most rookies, that's what you want to do, right? You want to make them feel uncomfortable. You want to feel like the house is collapsing around them, and you do that by blitzing. So no ands, ifs, buts about it. I'm sending exotic blitzes. I'm disguising things in terms of which side's going to blitz, whether it's a cornerback, a safety, and I'm blitzing up the middle primarily.
All right, I got two thoughts on that. One is just about any quarterback, if you can get pressure up the middle, you're going to have success against them. Right, Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady. But also, if you get up the middle, then they can scramble out. Usually,
they can.
Like Aaron Rodgers.
You'll have a play, but if you're quick enough to Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have time to let stuff develop. Now, again, he might scamper, and Trevor will have that ability. I mean, he'll have the ability to move. So, but consistently, if you can hit the quarterback, move him off his spot, it's like goal number one of any defense, right?
But keep in mind, though, when I say the exotic blitz look, it's because the quarterback's job is also diagnose who's coming and who's not.
Yes.
Right? And, yes, it's also the center's job, and you work hand in hand here. But I think where some problems went wrong is when Trevor Lawrence trying to call it the blitzes against what would have been Ohio State, he called it the wrong way. He got a little confused in terms of that. And you saw that a couple games as well. So that's what I would say is I'm trying to confuse him and trying to add more on his plate of, okay, where's the blitz coming from and things like that.
Yeah, okay, so that actually leads me right into my second thought on that is sure the game is faster in the NFL, and I would say more complex, right? The ability to retain, the ability to execute for an NFL player versus college guys means you can throw more at them. There are simple defenses that are played out there, but you can disguise and fool and trick, especially a young quarterback. I mean, every defensive coordinator would rather face a young quarterback than a veteran quarterback for that reason.
Correct.
Even a very good young quarterback, they'd probably rather face than a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's most people would put in the average category of a veteran quarterback. So, but how much is that will he have to, how is that years in the making for him to see everything and see enough? Or do you think because he's a smart guy. I mean, he can process, he's smart. I mean, that's part of what makes him the number one overall pick and this can't miss guy. So, I mean, will that be by week 6 he'll have seen enough to learn a lot about that, do you think? Will it take a whole year? Will it take 3 years? How more exotic is it in the NFL, I guess, than college?
It's big-time exotic, obviously. I think what it comes down to is how good is Trevor Lawrence's read and recognition, right? Because, once again, if you have the ability to scramble, well, that's one thing, right? Because that can buy you some time depending where the blitz is coming from. But if we want to talk about how quickly can he adapt to what he's about to see out there, I mean, that is so hard to tell, Brent, right? Because it took Patrick Mahomes, I don't know, maybe I would say a season, but when he came in, I think it was against Denver his rookie year, I mean, he had zero problems, So, I mean, it's hard to say how a quarterback's going to respond mentally, but I truly think coming from a very high-powered offense, and I would say, a higher complicated offense in Clemson than what you're accustomed to seeing possibly around the country, I don't think it would take that much time. I mean, I think if we're talking halfway through the season, he looks a lot more confident, looks a lot more comfortable, then yeah, so be it. Maybe it's week 1. Maybe he's got it figured out already. Who knows? Maybe this is what the training camp's for, is getting him moving around in the pocket a little bit and getting him comfortable. I just think that in terms of reading and recognizing, it could take a couple games at least.
Well, yeah. And by the way, that would be okay. I mean, you're not going to know everything and see everything. Somebody will throw a new wrinkle. Heck, in the playoffs for young quarterbacks, they see something different, see something new. And that's some 18, 19 games into maybe their first year, second year, whatever. I mean, there's always something new that you have to adapt to. How quick can you figure it out? But I think the fascinating part of it is you brought up a guy like Mahomes. I think back to Russell Wilson. Now, Russell Wilson was asked not to do as much probably in his early years as he is now.
Correct.
But still, there didn't seem like there was this crazy learning curve with that side of things. They didn't struggle mightily, where you could go all the way back to 99 and Peyton Manning, where he had this abysmal rookie year. Was that because they weren't very good? Yeah, probably. Was that because he wasn't recognizing everything that was being thrown at him? I would imagine, yeah. And he turned out okay, obviously.
Yep.
So I guess guys learn at a different way. A lot of people will say, well, you just said blitz them, keep throwing, bring the house.
Yeah.
And what's the key to beating the blitz and why you don't want to blitz Phillip Rivers and Tom Brady and other guys? Well, one is knowledge of being able to recognize and see, and two is who you're throwing it to, who's your hot read, where you get. Well, Patrick Mahomes put in a pretty good spot, right? It's kind of like wherever he threw the ball, he's got a weapon.
Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, what's this? A blitz on the outside? Hopefully the middle of the field's open with Travis Kelce. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's this? They're blitzing in the middle. Well, I think we got Tyreek Hill running a go route. He should be there.
But
it
you
does.
still have to recognize it.
No, for
at
sure.
Some point.
But it does help having all that speed and all that talent. And when you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, depending what Travis Etienne will bring to the table out of the slot, possibly. You obviously have DJ Chark, who's a Pro Bowler in his own right. You have Laviska Shenault surging along. It seems like you're going to have options there, but it's about recognizing those options under pressure.
Yeah, and well, I guess I going back and look at the tape of when Patrick Mahomes played, but because they had so many weapons early on, even teams might have been a little bit hesitant to blitz as much or bring as much because you don't want to get beat deep by some of those weapons if you do misfire or they pick up the blitz or he makes the right read. So, your weapons on offense, let's be honest, Blaine Gabbert, when he was playing here, if you stopped the run, there wasn't much else for Blaine to even do, even if he did make the right read. I mean, the receiving core was just very average. You didn't have game breakers that were going to burn the defense on the outside. That's an underrated part of what Trevor Lawrence has, in my estimation, being the number one overall pick. And I heard somebody else say this the other day, and I'm glad because at least somebody else is on the train. This is not a typical number one overall pick offense he's walking into. He's got guys that have done it. DJ Chark has made a Pro Bowl. Marvin Jones has been very successful. James Robinson coming off a nice year. You've got your offensive line that's a lot of people would sign up for if you're a rookie QB. You add ETN. Who knows about Shenault, who's having an outstanding camp right now, and other guys. So it's not Kansas City, don't get me wrong, but it's a pretty good situation to keep defenses potentially at bay and at least honest for what you can do if they want to send the house, if they make a certain call.
And what I do love about this training camp so far, because we've already seen it and you can expect it to be amplified when the pads come on, it is the complementary football aspect of this team right now, because you have a defense led by Joe Cullen who will be blitzing, who will be sending the house a lot. And when you have that and you're going against that in team every single day, well, that's going to correlate. That's going to translate. Back when I played back in like 2010, 2011, we weren't necessarily a heavy blitzing team. So whoever the quarterback was, whether it was Dave, whether it was Blaine Gabbert, they weren't accustomed to always seeing all these exotic blitzes because, well, that wasn't really in our MO. Now, yes, obviously you go to scout team, you give the looks depending, who you're playing that week, and they have to do their best job to try to give you the look. But it's different between being ones-on-ones in terms of talent and being a scout team. The fact that we're going to see a lot of blitzing this year from this Jaguars defense, that'll help out Trevor Lawrence. And he is going to see a lot of these exotic blitzes of whether it's safeties, cornerbacks, linebackers, you name it. So that's only going to help Trevor Lawrence progress in terms of reading, recognizing once he gets to game one against Houston.
Really good point, yeah, because they have been very simplistic on defense here in Jacksonville. And so if you are an offensive player, sooner or later you knew their tendencies. Well, Joe Cullen, this defense, I'm not sure they'll know it by the end of camp, all the different multiple looks they'll get, where this guy is versus this guy. It's a little bit harder. They can mix it up more, make it more fresh, but also really challenge the offense. Who knows? They might have done that a little bit today. And maybe that's why some of the interceptions, for Trevor Lawrence, some of those mistakes did happen. Let's get back to some Urban Meyer talking about, stay on the quarterbacks, on Gardner Minshew, who he has developed a relationship with here in the last few months.
Yeah, I admire Gardner because we've gotten a relationship now. It took a minute, like with a lot of players, because they just weren't here much. But I do appreciate that what he's going through. I've seen that at the college level where, I just seen it. And I that's one thing that I really appreciate about players that, and it's never been harder than 2021 to put team ahead of self.
That's Urban Meyer on Gardner Minshew, who has been up and down at camp so far. C.J. Beathard not there due to COVID protocols today, so even more reps for Gardner Minshew. Jake Luton back out there. It'll be really interesting to watch this unravel, what happens with their backup quarterback spot in the next few weeks. I think, listen, hopefully you don't need to worry about it, but I think it's a fascinating storyline, if nothing else, because of the name and kind of the brand of Gardner Minshew that comes along with it. More football talk coming up in just a bit. I did want to ask you, how was the concert the other night? We gave away all those tickets a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a blast. Koos says what's up, by the way. I saw Koos as well.
Koos.
Yeah.
All right, so Fall Out Boy, Weezer, and Green Day.
Green Day brought it, man. I like Green Day a lot, yeah.
Of course, that was a headliner.
That was a headliner, yeah. It's kind of cheating.
Kind of cheating?
It's kind of cheating. No, it was toasty. It's warm.
Of course.
Yeah. It's all right, though.
Is it hotter inside Daly's place this time of year or inside the stadium?
Well, seeing how the sun was shining right on us at the stadium, I'd probably say the stadium right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Were you on the east side?
That's a good question. Dude, here's the funny thing. So we were in section like 240, and like, I'm trying to. I don't know where because I've never really sat a lot in this. Hey, press box. You know what I'm saying?
Press box or playing on the field.
Don't have to know what the numbers are. So like we're trying to walk in, and I would say I've had a couple basic beverages, and my wife's like, "So where are we going?" I'm like, "I'll be honest, I have no idea." She's like, "You played here for how long? and you don't know where we're going." I'm like, I didn't play in the stands. I played on the field.
That's very true. I mean, even like the kids or whatever ask about tickets and where you tailgate, where you do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the life I live.
Exactly, Brent. We're different cats. We're different cats. Yeah.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Today, partly cloudy with midday and afternoon heavy showers and storms. Temperatures will stay hot in the low 90s. We will be tracking scattered storms well into the evening hours, with temperatures overnight dropping into the low 70s. Back into the mid 80s on your Tuesday, with partly cloudy skies tracking showers and storms well through the afternoon and evening. We will just rinse and repeat for your Wednesday, with temperatures staying cool in the mid 80s. I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Alyssa Pedgick.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beards Diamonds.
Today's pros need today's tools, and nobody understands that better than the Home Depot. Our app makes it simpler to get supplies ordered and delivered. Our online project calculators cut guesswork and last-second supply runs. Job site delivery puts what you need where and when you need it. And rental puts the right equipment in your hands, but not your overhead. That's how today's pros get more done. New tech, new tools, old-fashioned hard work. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Pop quiz. What's the best way to protect your family's future? It's life insurance from Fabric. Fabric has modernized getting term life insurance. It's simple, quick, all online, and surprisingly affordable. Like $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day affordable. And you could be approved on the spot. Try Fabric risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your family's future today at meetfabric.com/sports. That's meetfabric.com/sports. Fabric Insurance Agency policies issued by Vantis Life. Not available in New York and Montana. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
For 50 years, Taylor has been a leader in caring for the elderly. Providing quality, compassionate care has always been our mission. At Taylor Care Center and Taylor Manor, our recipe for success has always been our exceptional team. They work tirelessly to ensure that your family member gets the best care possible. When residents were not able to spend time with you and your family, our team stepped up to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and special occasions. Our dedicated staff is among the best in the business. Taylor Residents, providing safe, compassionate care every day.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin. Choosing a new career path, it can be a big commitment. It can take time, energy, and yes, of course, money. And if you're looking to turn your career path around right now, you need to take a serious look with my friends at J-Tech. When you go to J-Tech, they have one goal in mind, and that's giving you the skills and tools needed to succeed in the field of your choice. That's why up to 84% of their graduates are employed in a field of their study right after graduation. And you're never going to be overcrowded, as their classrooms average on a 16-to-1 student-teacher ratio. Take part in the training of a whole new generation of automotive, diesel, HVAC, marine and RV, and transportation industry professionals. But you gotta hurry, because they're enrolling students right now for their up-and-coming fall term. To learn more about J-Tech, visit jtech.org, or better yet, give them a call at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. Once again, that's 904-483-9460, or visit jtech.org.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Anyone can talk like they're a big dog, but few actually walk the talk. We're not the only plumbing company claiming same-day water heater service. In fact, a lot of customers have called us after other companies failed to come through on their same-day service talk. Fortunately, Griffin Service delivers. We eat big dogs for lunch. And we fix what others can't. Some of that's knowing the science, engineering, and craft of AC and plumbing better than the Bubbas. But it's also better planning. The key to actually doing same-day water heater replacement is having water heaters in stock and ready to go. And that's what we do. Gas, electric, tank, tankless, we got them all in stock and ready to roll for you. So if you want to avoid the bait-and-switch turd bucket tactics of the Bubbas, or if you discover you're in the middle of an all-talk, no-walk situation with a wannabe, well, you know who to call, right?
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
Here in the Sunshine State, more than 3 million men are over age 45, and over half suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Brown. If you're having problems in the bedroom and pills like Viagra have let you down, you'll see results at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, or your exam is free. And it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. Guaranteed results on your first visit, or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217.
Just be positive. Just be a happy homeowner. With a Community First Mortgage Champions, you'll know you're getting the best deal and a great experience. You'll get a super rate, close in as little as 30 days, save about $3,000 in closing costs, and enjoy championship service at every step. So you're as happy buying your home as the day you move in. Well, almost. Apply or learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey here on a Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Some sad news over the weekend. If you know Jacksonville sports media, you will know this name. And you got to understand, a lot of folks are transient now, a lot of new faces, new people, and really a booming place in the entire country is right here in Jacksonville. So this doesn't hit with everybody, but it hits with a lot of folks. And the news came down on Saturday that we lost Greg Larson, very popular media figure over the years. And I'll be quite honest with you, I've been here 14 years now, and that's even too new to know everything about Greg Larson and to even know him well. I've run into him a couple times, talked to him a couple times. So that's why we bring on Gary Smits right now, who wrote a very nice obit for the Florida Times-Union, and kind enough to join us and talk a little bit more about Greg. Gary, appreciate you joining us. That was a bit of a stunner over the weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Started trickling out. Brent Beard, a good friend of all of ours, I believe, posted something on Facebook. He had heard it from some friends Saturday afternoon, and Greg, the blessing is, obviously went too young at 73 years old. That's, really had a lot more to say, and I'm sure he planned on saying it as often as possible. But he passed away in his sleep. The family told me there were some health issues, did not want to elaborate. But that's, as Kenny Rogers would say, that's the best we can all hope for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Greg Larson passing away at the age of 73. And just to let folks understand this, the names I've heard, right? We obviously know there's so many folks that have been in this area for decades and decades in the media. We could list their names, but the names I've heard that I don't know a lot about, but I've heard about them, Gary. Jay Solomon comes to mind, and Greg Larson now, who helped from a sports radio standpoint really get things rolling. I think people forget that the sports radio medium business is relatively new. Like, we're talking early 90s to the mid 90s. And so I think you put in the paper, he had his show started in like 1989. So he was really early on in the radio game and was still doing radio as of last Friday down in St. Augustine, and had a very loyal following. Why was his following so loyal?
Well, he was funny. He was outrageous sometimes. He was over the top, and a lot of them were people who had really been loyal to him when he was a columnist for us, who enjoyed reading him. And then also, Greg was out in the community an awful lot, and he made a lot of friends that way. He played in slow pitch softball leagues. He played in the 30 and over baseball league. Ask Frank Franzi about that one time. He played on a team with him. He loved playing golf and tennis, and he was, he didn't look like he had the body for all that and everything. But again, he used to, as I put in there, he used to call himself the best fat athlete in Jacksonville. And he was pretty good. I tried playing tennis against him one time, and he had all these dinks and dunks and drop shots at the net, and I wasn't fast enough to catch up to him. He's also a pretty good golfer, and the thing is, he did not brag about this a whole lot. But Greg played baseball at Central Florida. At the time, it was called Central Florida Junior College in Ocala, and he did a couple of years in the low minors with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
So, Brett, this. If you're playing any kind of college ball at any level, or playing any kind of professional baseball at any level, you're a pretty doggone good athlete.
Absolutely. Gary Smith's with us from the Florida Times-Union. Remembering the late Greg Larson, who passed over the weekend. I did see on Twitter somebody mentioned that he really started the Media League softball leagues, and from maybe 2008 when I first got here through the first maybe 2012 or so, I probably played a handful of years in those leagues. I never had I guess I didn't give it much thought, but that Larson team, when I was playing, was always like the best team in the league.
Yeah, it was awful. I remember one year we at the Times Union won it one year. When I guess Greg couldn't drum up enough ringers, but he awful lot of it seemed to be an awful lot of 6'4", 220-pound guys who could hit at 300 feet, who all of a sudden were radio station employees. We were never quite sure about that, but that just showed how competitive he was. And he's competitive in his job. That's the one thing. Fred Seeley, just a friend of all of ours, and was one who hired Greg. And then he worked for David Lamb for a number of years. And the one thing that they said, he was so competitive about breaking stories and getting there first. And this is at a time, with no internet, and but very good TV sports anchors, and so there was some competition there. And Greg really, when Greg would hear something, and he tried to nail it down, he was like a dog with a bone that didn't want to give it up. And the other thing about Greg as a writer, which I was there at the Times Union for 6 years while he was there, is he was so original in coming up with story ideas. And I think I wrote about this. The one thing that I really admired, I believe it was the '86. We always used to send him to the World Series. He'd always go and everything, and there was always money in the budget back then. And but during an off day, I think it was the Red Sox Mets series in '86. During an off day, he had worked for about a month beforehand, but he got somebody to let him into Yankee Stadium to slide at home plate. Then he goes downtown to go to Madison Square Garden, and had made arrangements to go in and shoot a couple of free throws at Madison Square Garden. And then he goes out to the National Tennis Center and serves a couple of balls all in one day, and he wrote about the experience of doing that. I'm not sure you could do that now. I'm not sure anybody would even try, but he did. And then another example, the Players' Championship, instead of doing a story about the best shot guys ever hit, he did a story asking, what's the worst shot you ever hit in competition? Very, very interesting answers on that one. He did another great one where he asked the PGA Tour players, what would you want? What athlete would you want to be, or who would you want to play? What other sport would you want to play if you could have your wish? And you did great answers. Center field for the Yankees. I want to pitch for the Dodgers. I want to be in the net for the Canadiens. You know, it was just some very, very interesting answers, and he really thought outside the box in that regard.
I know he did trivia on his show, and that was a staple. And many people that I saw reactions to the passing of Greg Larson as we visit with Gary Smits talk about his knowledge of sports. This is a day and age, Gary, this is a day and age where, let's be honest, I mean, we got Google, And by the way, there are so many outlets that everybody's an expert. I always say this a lot, we'll do speaking engagements and we'll talk to Gator fans or Knowles fans. And you used to be, even me, I say used to, I'm not that old, but you used to be able to, you were kind of like the expert on a lot of that stuff. Well, the Internet's changed that. I mean, the big fan of the Gators or the big fan of the Knowles or whoever else, they actually might know more than you because they're reading about it so much. So he was full of knowledge, though, as that's what everybody says. Did we lose Gary? We might have lost Gary. You still there, Gary?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a little. I think we had a little power surge here.
No problem.
Where I'm living. But you were talking about the internet kind of changing things and all that. You're right about fans being knowledgeable because there's so many sources we could go to. But Greg was kind of our Google.
Yeah, that's a good way to answer it. Good stuff. Well, hey. Stay safe, by the way. It's a crazy storm. I don't know where you are, but it's crazy storming here. So it could have been on our end. But it was if you didn't get a chance to read about Greg Larson, really one of the big names in sports media here in Jacksonville, from columnist to sports radio host, unfortunately passed away on Saturday. Thoughts with his family, of course, and all his colleagues. Gary, we appreciate you giving us a little background, and make sure you read Gary Smith's obit on Greg Larson. Thanks, man.
Thank you for having me, Brett.
You bet. That is Gary Smits here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. I think it's an important part of it. I grew up in this business, love this business, and I love that part even about Jacksonville or any market that I've been to, is where you got to, at least from a selfish standpoint, we have so many younger people now in our industry and business and here in Jacksonville. And I kind of consider myself still on the younger side, but all the folks that have kind of paved the way in the industry in every city, but here in Jacksonville, and Greg Larson is certainly one of those folks. So I think it's important to remember those folks and also shed some light on it for us that weren't as familiar. It was such a different game back then. We talk about sports in that way. And I say back then, I mean, I'm only talking 20, 25 years ago, but especially some 30, 35 years ago. I always think it's interesting when I'm talking to Gene Fournette or Gary Smits, and they talk about the budgets that they had at the paper, right? And they used to be able to go cover a World Series and all these games. Well, that does not exist anymore, like in any sports media, hardly, but especially in the newspaper business. That has really changed probably the most. But we got from there to here thanks to people like Greg Larson.
Paved the way for sure.
R.I.P. for sure to Greg Larson. It is storming nasty around here.
Oh, yeah. Super aggressive right now in Jacksonville. Super aggressive.
And it's been like that.
Yeah.
I asked the weather folks, by the way. I said, "Are we setting records
Money Mike?
for rain?"
Well,
Mike wasn't in last
night.
night.
Boy, Money Mike. Okay.
But I'll ask him again today because last time I did talk to Money Mike, he...
See, now, only I can call... See, because my co-host in the morning does this too. Only I can call him Money Mike.
Okay, good.
Okay?
That's good because I really don't want to.
Okay, only I can call him Money Mike.
I just want to try to make as much as him. But Burish, I asked him this in like June because it had rained like 5 days in a row like this.
Yeah.
You know, something crazy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, we have got to be setting records, Mike, for rain. He said, actually, we're way under up until like this last week, and now we're over.
Because I feel like it's been pouring
nonstop.
That
was in June.
Okay.
And so now I think combined with the rains that we've had, and I think it's been, remember, I've been on the road a lot in July, but I think it's rained quite a bit over the last week and a half with these afternoon storms. We have got to be above normal. For the rain.
Isn't this like the time where you get like brush fires, like forest fire, or wildfires in Jacksonville?
And then the rainy season actually, I mean, it's technically been hurricane season for a while, but I always feel like it's a little more into August as you get to September, and I know that because of the Dream 18 golf tournament, and so I know I've had to move it in the past due to some of that tropical stuff, but I think we're already ahead of it. So if we get some of those storms, I mean, we might be talking about like some severe flooding in Jacksonville.
Because I remember that one, it was one year where there was like wildfires outside Jacksonville, and it was like training camp, but it was noticeable. Yeah. You know, I mean, it smelled like the Folgers factory, but like a little less eloquent, you know? Because it does smell like the Folgers factory a little bit, right? And you know where I'm coming from. I think that's all a front for something else. You don't need to get into it, but I don't think they're actually doing coffee on the Folgers factory. Yeah. I think they're pumping the coffee smell to throw us off the scent. I'm not sure what that building is, but one day we're going to find out. Send Ben Becker on that one.
Yes, send Ben.
Hey, Ben, that Folgers factory, I've never met anybody ever worked there. Never heard anybody talk about it. What's going on?
My favorite part is Maxwell's really pissed that you're not calling it the right name.
Oh, is it? Oh, my bad. Maxwell House. I don't drink coffee. It's Maxwell House, isn't it? My bad. Folgers, Maxwell. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
I like the smell of it sometimes.
Is Maxwell House in your cup? You know, that old jingle. Best part of waking up, it's that Maxwell House in your cup.
Thanks for giving us a G. Good news is we probably won't have either as a sponsor anytime soon. Anyway, it was never trending toward that way.
No, we're good.
And now it's official.
I'm trying to get that Starbucks money, Brent. You should be trying to get that Starbucks money.
Point.
Yeah.
Or how about just some local coffee company?
Now we're talking about.
I'll take a local coffee company.
I happen to know Trevor Lawrence prefers a big one in Jacksonville.
I know. I'll sign up for anybody.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I drink more coffee than anybody in town.
That's well. Or, Maxwell House, I apologize. So, water underneath the bridge. Let's go.
Coffee at 95-degree training camp practice. I mean, come on.
You can ice that coffee?
Tougher than me.
You can ice that coffee?
No, I don't drink iced coffee.
95 degrees?
No iced coffee.
Crazy,
not at all?
Man.
No.
You're crazy, man.
Totally different.
You're crazy,
Hot
man.
coffee, that's it.
Oh.
Just, guys, you got to be mentally tough.
Well, I mean, I don't drink coffee anyways, but I'm not going to drink a hot chocolate at 95-degree weather at training camp. There's no way. How's that enjoyable for you? It's not enjoyable for you, be honest.
I love every second of it. I kind of like the fact that I don't think anybody else could do it.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because people, are you bragging about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's like nobody else does it. Well, yeah, because there's other options.
Hey, some
there's
people
iced
lift
coffee.
like 380 pounds
on
the bench.
You're not lying.
Some people drink hot coffee at a hot training camp practice.
There it is.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
Penalty kicks are to soccer what overtime is to college football, which is to say, it's exciting, but it is a completely ridiculous way to determine the outcome of something important. Here's the deal. If you are one who does not like the idea of putting a runner on second base in extra innings, how can you defend this nonsense?
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Where else can you get lunchin', brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Colhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the South Side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. ColhainesIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the South Side. Colhane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class.
Are you in the need of a career change? Are you in the market for making more money? Or are you just stuck at a job right now that you don't really enjoy? Listen, I know career paths can be tricky, but whether you're just getting out of high school or you're looking for something new, J-Tech might be the school for you. Why not get an education you can actually put to use? Whether it's with automotive, diesel, HVAC, marine and RV, J-Tech is looking to train a brand new generation of highly skilled and essential employees. The cool thing with J-Tech is not only can they offer you the hands-on training that's going to help you move your future in the right direction, with their 16-to-1 student-teacher ratio, you're going to make sure you're getting all the skills that you need, all the hands-on training that you need to be successful and to shine. And don't think that they can't work around your time. To learn more about J-Tech, visit jtech.org, or better yet, give them a call at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. Once again, that's 904-483-9460, or visit jtech.org.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late, and that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you.
Okay.
Then you need to be online where they look for you.
Online, huh?
Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for all that. I need to run my business. Alexa, can you help me find someone that can help me with online marketing?
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level so you can get back to running it. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Do you have a passion for sales? Are you known for building strong relationships? Do you love to compete and win? CMG Jacksonville is searching for a talented individual to join our family as a media consultant. This position will require a committed person who will forge great relationships with Jacksonville's business leaders and develop profitable campaigns for advertisers. If your talents are a match, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com, or call 245-8732.
Can you picture a better way to spend a beautiful fall day supporting a great cause than on the world-renowned stadium course at TPC Sawgrass? Ronald McDonald House Jacksonville will host its annual Golf Classic event 9:30 a.m. Monday, October 11 at TPC Sawgrass. Experience an unforgettable afternoon of golf while supporting critically ill children and their families. For details and to register your foursome, visit www.rmhcjacksonville.org.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The biggest challenge every year is different terminology, different language of the defense, but I think it's been a pretty good, smooth install so far. A lot of guys, obviously there's going to be kinks to work out, especially when you start going through like 2-minute situations, thinking fast. There's going to be mistakes this early in camp, but overall it's been a smooth transition.
We were just talking in the commercial break about Joe Schobert on this defense. I'm still kind of interested to see how the puzzle pieces fit in what they do. And Schobert needs a little bit of a bounce-back year. Hopefully it's a fit for him. Yeah. Biggest thing for Schobert that Schobert did do last year is take some off Miles Jack's plate, and he can do that again. but then you got to hold your own, especially in the run game on this defense. So we'll see if Schobert is able to do that. We're going to get to football at 5. We'll talk, got a one-on-one conversation with Charlie Strong and some other things, including some criticism or constructive criticism from Urban Meyer to Tim Tebow over the weekend on a progress report there. We got that coming up. I asked earlier in the show, we were talking a little bit of Olympics. I feel like we've talked more about the Olympics and paid attention to the Olympics than I've done since I've been here, and that's 2008, so that would have been an Olympic year. You know, and I really do. I feel like I feel like I've watched more Olympics. Mm-hmm. And I certainly don't go out of my way to promote the Olympics because we're not an NBC station on the TV side.
Oh, good call.
Okay?
Good call. Yeah.
So there's a competitive side of me that doesn't do that.
Okay. I was wondering what was up with that, but okay, it makes sense now.
All right. So
SmackDown this Friday. Check it out. Roman Reigns is back, everybody.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing? All right.
Yes, that's what you should be doing.
I got you.
It will not be preempted.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this, and I think this is the reality of it. Whether it's on, and I see it on social media now, maybe it's just people I follow, but again, people I follow, people we interact with, a lot of football fans, Jags fans, you know, kind of the audience. Well, they're commenting about the Olympics. They're locked into the Olympics. I think in Jacksonville, we owe a lot of our interest in the Olympics this year to Caleb Dressel and Ryan Murphy.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
I mean, it is seemingly like everybody has put their arms around the fact that these guys are really two of the kings of swimming, you know, in the world, and they're from here, and there's great pride in that. So that part, I think, is really cool, and I think that's what's got our focus and attention. I don't know if it will stay through now over the next week. Of course, football will be in full swing, so that will take some of our attention away. But I think the last, whatever it is, 7 to 10 days, the swimming, Dressel being the best swimmer on the planet, Ryan Murphy, gold, silver, bronze to go along with a couple of golds from the last Olympics. I mean, these guys are piling up their mark in the history of the sport.
Correct.
And on the world stage, and they're from the 904, as Urban Meyer would say. Yeah. So, I mean, do you buy into that? Is that why we're kind of more attentive to the Olympics? Is that just me? Mm-hmm. Or do you think people in general are because of those two guys? And really in this Olympics, you could say specifically Dressel.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not be enthralled with what these guys have done in terms of representing, you know, their city? Now, let's keep in mind, like they don't train in Jacksonville. It's not like you're going to go outside and you're going to go to a grocery store and see Caleb Dressel, you know, getting, you know, groceries for the week. You probably won't do that. I mean, they're all over the place. But to know, like, you know, they've come from Jacksonville, Florida, that absolutely does mean something. And if they call Jacksonville their hometown, that does mean something. And when you have, you know, and I think you tweeted this, I saw, when you have that, it was the 100-meter medley.
Yeah.
And you have
50%
of the team from Jacksonville. Can any other city say that?
It's unbelievable.
No? Very cool then, right? So that's something to be proud of. It's something to celebrate, something to represent.
Yeah, I feel like there's this enormous sense of pride in these two guys.
Yeah.
You know, listen, Garrett Scantling's going to compete here soon in the track and field. Mm-hmm. We've had some Olympic flavor over the years. But in this day and age, to have these two guys and just be so good and so dominant, especially from Dressel's point of view, to have 5 golds, I mean, it was a remarkable Olympics, and put them in just the stratosphere that few are in, the Spitzes and Phelps of the world, Biondi as well. So it's 8 gold medals are coming back to Jacksonville swimming.
Yes.
I'm sorry, 8 medals, not golds. 6 golds, a silver, and a bronze. So 8 medals in total out of what the U.S. has pulled in. And it's these guys. I mean, you can really feel the sense of pride around it. You asked it earlier, should there be a parade for these guys? I think in Green Cove Springs, I think they're going to really try to work up something special for Caleb Dressel. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind now, this guy's a star all over the world. He's got a lot of demands on him. I don't know when that will happen. Ryan Murphy has been celebrated. We did something when he brought back the golds at Bowls. Yeah. And he's been honored at a Jags game before, and he's a big Jags fan. I know he listens to the show sometimes, too, so shout out to Ryan Murphy. I think you're right, though. I think whether it's the city of I don't know who organizes it. Maybe we should organize it. Maybe we should put an ESPN 690 parade together.
Now we're talking.
All right?
Should we
Can I be the grand
how
marshal?
is the budget looking?
Yeah, the budget's great.
Budget's great. I mean, we haven't had T-shirts in a while for any games. I feel like we got some stock, saved up.
Yeah, true.
So let's go.
But something like that should happen and would not be overdone.
No. The guy won 5. I mean, okay, so let's be honest here. And once again, like Ryan Murphy and Caleb Dressel, both big stars right now at the Olympic level. If you look at this year in terms of, there's always those breakout stars, right? There's always those guys or those girls that we talk about like, wow, they got put on the map. I feel like Katie Ledecky, that was whatever. That would have been, 4 years ago it would have been now? Or 5? I mean, depending how you look at it.
Well, she's now
5.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
She's 3 Olympics in a row.
Yeah, for sure. When you look at Simone Biles, this is supposed to be her Olympics per se. Well, she backs out. Phelps had his moment. Like, the takeaway this year in terms of breakout stars, in terms of putting the country on the map, if you will, it's got to be Caleb Dressel. I mean, that 5 gold medals, what more do you want?
Yeah. And really, Murphy and Dressel have been kind of some of the faces along with Ledecky of USA Swimming. You can tell by the pieces that NBC does. Mm-hmm. NBC has like a catalog of pieces on Dressel ready to go. Mm-hmm. And even in some of the commercials, he's got, I think he did like a Toyota commercial, so I mean, already Murphy had some of those as well. So, I mean, they've really wrapped their arms around those guys as stars. And you're right. And Dressel now begs the question of this, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I asked this out on the football field today to some. When you think of greatest athletes from Jacksonville, and we've had these conversations before, and it's certainly debatable, and Bob Hayes seemingly always rises to the top in this conversation, as he should. Super Bowl champ, sure. Dallas Cowboys, gold medalist. I mean, that's pretty darn good, right?
Quite the resume.
But I just wonder now where Caleb Dressel fits in the conversation of that. To be able to already have some golds to his name in the last Olympics, but now from this individual performance standpoint and come home with 5 golds, where does he go on the pantheon of greatest of all-time athletes in Jacksonville? I'll tell you what it does. It shoots him high up the list.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I think you got to put him right up there because, once again, we're talking about 5 gold medals in one Olympic run. Very few can say they've done that. Regardless of the sport. So, yeah, absolutely. I think in terms of greatest athletes in Jacksonville history, he's up there.
And I got to be careful with Dressel, too. Dressel has a little, because it's Green Cove Springs, I'll get this sometimes on Twitter, and when I mention it and I say Jacksonville, really should say Northeast Florida, because I'm not sure the folks out in Green Cove Springs love it if I link them to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I got
It's a lot like what happened with Derrick Henry in Yulee, and you get that a lot. Like you say,
the
hey,
old Jacksonville Bulldozer? Don't we call him? The Jacksonville Bulldozer?
It's not Duval, so you'll get a little bit of that, and there's some pride in that, too. And I get that. I understand that. But you also know where we're coming from. I mean, the Jacksonville area, Northeast Florida. And I put, by the way, Derrick Henry's in the conversation that we're having right now. But Dressel will be in that conversation, I think, forever. I mean, that's where he's put his mind. And by the way, Murphy and already has, I mean, go stack up the medals, man. He's going to be in that list, probably not as high up now as Dressel, because, again, Dressel has Phelps and Mark Spitz kind of. That's what he just had. He had that kind of Olympic Games where he will live, forever in the pantheon of the Olympics. 100 years from now, they'll be talking about this Olympic Games on Caleb Dressel.
Absolutely. I mean, and listen, I understand we're a long ways away and it's really too early to tell. Do you think they both come back and make another run at it? And if so, I mean, does Dressel have an opportunity, to be on maybe that Phelps level, if we're being honest here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you got to really hesitate to put him on Phelps level because he did it for so long and so just – it seemed like he changed the game on that. But to answer your first part of your question, I would say I think yes to both. Don't know 100%. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Ryan Murphy might have even said it in one of his post-race interviews that he's looking forward to. I think I heard that, and I would say Dressel for sure. I think Dressel's 24 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, you can argue he's not even in, like, his prime. Because some of the swimmers will swim now into their early 30s.
Yeah.
And still have a lot of success.
Where's the next host city for the Olympics, the Summer Games? Do we know?
We did. That's the other day.
That's not in the U.S., is it?
No, L.A. is in 28.
Oh, okay.
24.
I
can't remember now.
Okay.
I can't remember where it was.
Okay.
But
it's on the U.S. Okay, it'll be in Paris, France.
It's in Paris.
Okay, I was going to say because you can go cover it, but Paris is a little more out there.
I mean, we can try.
Oh, you going to Paris?
I don't know. We better take the wives.
Well, they have coffee there, right, or not?
I'm sure.
Is that Italy? No, who's going to like their coffee? It's either Italy or Paris, whatever. Yeah, well, let's go. Let's take the wives.
Colombia?
Maybe. Colombia is known for that as well, along with other things. But yes, Colombia coffee for sure.
We'll be back. Football at 5 on ESPN 690.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
As vacations come to a close, schools are about to reopen, crime is on the rise, and homeowners are worried for their family's safety and personal property. Do I need cameras? Do I need a security system? These may be questions you're asking yourself. That's why SafeTouch's licensed professionals are going to guide you through the whole process. Imagine never leaving your family home alone again. The SafeTouch two-way communicator is the push of a button away. Anything from a bruised elbow to a stranger at your door. Maybe it's your car sitting out all night that worries you. The SafeTouch camera provides notifications before your car's even touched and video with 24/7 recording. For everything that's important to you, SafeTouch has you covered. Their verified response guarantees the fastest possible emergency response in the industry. SafeTouch consultants are registered fire and burglar agents with the state. You can have 100% confidence in the design and installation of your SafeTouch system. Get your free consultation today and see the SafeTouch difference. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. Florida license number EF 0000233 and LVA 004188.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. The Colts have made the call on quarterback Carson Wentz. He's having surgery today on his injured foot, is expected to miss 5 to 12 weeks. Coach Frank Gregg said it is an old injury. Jacob Eason takes first-team reps at practice with Wentz out. From ESPN's Adam Schefter, Eagles rookie receiver Devontae Smith has a sprained MCL. He's out 2 to 3 weeks. The NBA free agency frenzy officially begins in 1 hour. Among the marquee names on the market, Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul, Spencer Dinwiddie. Leonard opting out of his Clippers deal. Not the best financial decision, in the opinion of ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
If he was 100% going to stay with the Clippers, he would stay into his contract and extend off of that. Also, if he had done that, he would have enabled the Clippers to apply for a disabled player exception, which would have given them a $10 million one-time exception they could use to sign a player in free agency that could add to that.
Brian Windhorst on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin for the latest on NBA free agency. Tune in to SportsCenter in 1 hour on ESPN TV.
Barbasol shaving cream is available in 5 fantastic flavors to customize your close shave. Whether it's the classic original or sensitive skin, there's one for every face. Find your favorite Barbasol today. Close Shave America, Close Shave Barbasol.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
No, I think it's great. And our owner, every time I talk to the crowd, that there's a lot of reasons why you play, why you coach. I love our owner. I'm not ashamed to say that. I think he wants to win in the worst way, the purest form. He really wants 904 to experience some success, and we owe it to the guy.
That is Urban Meyer on Shad Khan. I believe that, too. That's enough conversations, and I believed it for a long time. You know, I haven't believed any of the narratives when it comes to Shad Khan, the Jaguars, whether it's London, whether it's whatever. I mean, there are people say, it's just in it for the money, or I mean, he's got billions of dollars. I mean, listen, everybody has an ego. Everybody has pride. People want to win. This is about winning. Mm-hmm. Have fun with it, too. I mean, it might not be even like the main thing you built your life on as for Shad Khan, but I can tell you this, man. There's no doubt somewhere in there Shad Khan has an ego, and winning is important.
Absolutely.
The guy hasn't lost much in the last, 30 years in life.
Yeah.
You know, and probably then some.
Yeah.
So I believe every bit of what Urban's saying and on that front, and maybe it's happening. Maybe it's happening here in Jacksonville. If you missed the observations from today, we do it early in the show, but you can always go back and subscribe. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast. Subscribe on YouTube, and you can go back and watch the show there. Twitter, Facebook. You don't need to subscribe on Twitter or Facebook. Just follow along.
Well, if you want to subscribe, I mean, that helps if you want to subscribe, though.
Can you subscribe to Facebook or Twitter?
No, I thought you meant on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely on YouTube.
Okay, okay.
How about Twitch? Do you think we should grow the Twitch audience?
I feel like Twitch
Hard
is where
yes.
Yeah, it's where it's at in terms of money-wise. Hard yes.
Hard yes. Well, let's do it, Casey. That's what we brought you on
Well,
for.
that and also the YouTube crowd, because then we can get those plaques. You can get the YouTube viewership plaques if you get so many interviews.
How many do you need?
It was 1 million views total.
It's a lot.
Or some.
Total, or do you need 1 million subscribers?
No, it's like a views thing, I thought.
It's a views thing, and then there is a subscribers thing. But
hey, don't worry, I'll keep getting some wrestling interviews and really carry the load for everybody.
You've done a pretty good job with that.
I got you. Don't worry, I got you.
I want to know what the threshold is.
What do you mean?
On views.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't run the YouTube page.
I play for a trophy.
I know they're pretty cool plaques.
Everybody wants a trophy.
The timer just went up. We're good. No, they're pretty cool plaques.
Okay. Let's get the Twitch going.
But here's the issue, though, and let's be honest here, because we're both proud champions, me and you, and we both like to display what we win.
Yeah.
You and I should say. You only get one plaque. Who's getting the plaque?
Oh,
Casey, with all due respect to you, I mean, you're new here.
Well, I don't think we're getting a plaque unless we get 9,000 more subscribers.
Well, what about the views?
So
though?
We need
do we need the
10,000 subscribers?
We need 10,000.
Is that part of the? Is that the thing?
When you reach,
yeah.
Yikes! We need 100,000 subscribers.
Isn't there a
you need
views
100,000 subscribers just to get a damn plaque?
Isn't there a?
Yeah.
They're cool plaques.
Buy a plaque.
Brent, but they're not like these plaques. These are cool plaques. Isn't there a views trophy? If not, then what?
It did not come up. I'll keep searching.
What are we fighting for
What
here?
am I even doing this for? Why are we even streaming?
Where's Super Evan? Let's get him going on Twitch.
Let's just go back to the radio. Forget it. Shut it down. Shut it all down. Yeah, where's Super? I'm sure Super Evan's got a plaque.
Yeah, I bet he does.
He's got a couple of them.
Making money off that Twitch.
Yeah, for sure.
We have 3 views on Twitch.
Well, now I'm like, whatever, huh?
It's a slow climb, man.
Enjoy
the journey.
Yeah, it's a slow burn.
When we first came back, there was a guy on Twitch that was commenting, and I should have gave him some more love. He really wanted to know about your golf game, Brent.
Oh, give me a break.
Man. Welcome that guy in. Shot 78 yesterday.
We're not doing golf Twitch. I'll tell you that right now. That'll get shut down so quickly. Golf Twitch, come on. Give you a break.
We need more Twitch followers. Let's get going on Twitch.
We need a game.
To the podcast.
We got to start playing video games.
Yeah, we got a game on Twitch.
And no, Miss Pac-Man ain't going to cut it.
Listen, I'm 44 years old. This is where you guys come in. Come up with a damn idea that will work.
What games you play, Austin?
Call of Duty. That's about it.
Sure, we can do that.
Or we got Super Smash Brothers on the Switch now, Nintendo Switch. Don't tell my son it's going to be surprised for being a good boy when he's back in Wisconsin.
Ooh.
He's getting Super Smash Brothers. I gave you my idea that we do live streaming during football games. Like we have guests or whatever, And like we just sit in here and we put it on Twitch and we just kind of give our feedback, our commentary during the game.
I think we do it.
It's a good idea.
Let's do it.
Well, I brought it up 2 years ago, and where's that gotten me?
Well, now I'm
Nowhere.
here, so we're doing it.
It got you Sundays off. That's what it got you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not all bad.
I know, you're not lying, because fantasy football kind of took a hit if I got to do these live streams every Sunday.
Yeah. Anyway, go subscribe anywhere you can subscribe. We need 100,000 to get a plaque.
YouTube just had a great idea. It's a very popular thing on Twitch. They're called hot tub streams, and they're mostly for girls. They just kind of sit in hot tubs and answer the chat. And somebody on YouTube wants you guys to do a hot tub stream together on Twitch.
Oh, you get in that weight room? What's up? How you
Give
feeling?
me another month.
How you feeling? A month?
Give me a month.
To get camera ready? To get a hot tub ready, you need a month?
Yeah, You
gonna start starving yourself? What are you going to do?
No, I'm kind of in it right now. I started yesterday.
Well, I'm going to hold you accountable to this.
So, yeah, I think I could do it in a month.
Because, I don't need
to look unbelievable.
Well, you kind of do, though, if we're trying to get views.
Not really. I mean, I can look somewhat good.
Okay, all I'm going to say is I'm going to hold you accountable then. Because, I'm going to hold myself accountable.
That's fine.
Okay. You have 1 month. It's like an ultimatum. You have a month.
Does anybody have a hot tub? Or?
Bro, you got a hot tub, right? You got a hot tub? I mean, is it outdoor hot tub, obviously? Because it's Jacksonville. Because it's Jacksonville.
I went in it last night.
Brett, it's 95 degrees outside. There's no way you're going in hot tubs, drinking hot coffee at 95-degree temperatures. I'm not going to allow it.
It took us a year and a half to find the hot tub. After the fireplace, I was like, I'm not doing that.
Got the hot tub,
fire
man.
Pit.
Cash Money Martineau. What are you going to do about him? I like it.
Pandemic casualty. Couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, find something to do.
So,
I like it.
Let's go. We're doing the show from the hot tub.
Can you invest in a cold tub so we get some recovery going then too?
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
No, they're not cheap. They're not cheap.
Are they?
A couple
How about
thousand.
just a trash can with ice?
Yeah, but then the ice melts, Brent. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help your kids. And what I was getting at is I want to come over so I can use it as well for my training recovery. You get a cold tub.
How many minutes do you need the cold tub?
A day, to get in it?
Yeah.
Ideally 20 minutes is what you're looking at.
20 minutes.
20 minutes if you can pull it off. 10 to get some benefits. 15's okay. 20 is where we want to be.
I'm going to cryo.
Okay, have fun with that. I mean, crowd works as well if they want to sponsor. It's okay, but I love the cold tub.
Yeah,
I love the cold tub.
Do you do cold tubs still?
Oh yeah. So, dude, I'm a psychopath. So my last week of fight camp, every other day I'll do cold tubs. So I go to the gas station and I buy 5 big bags of ice. And then obviously I drag them in, and then I put them in the tub, and then you can when I get in, because it's like a small bathtub, right? So it's and then I get in and I start screaming, and my wife thinks I'm insane. And
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But I sit there for 20 minutes.
Gosh,
up to my neck.
How many minutes until you get okay, I'm numb, so it doesn't matter?
I would say 4 or 5 minutes into it, you're good. You can kind of control your breathing.
I was going to say, because those first few minutes, it takes your breath away.
Well, that's the biggest part.
And I'm not talking about some female you saw.
For sure. We're not talking about Top Gun, take my breath away. No, for sure. It's that initial shock that you have to get over.
Yeah.
But that's why I do my meditative breathing stuff, and it helps. Yeah.
Got to piece this thing all
Now,
together.
once again, my family could care less and think I'm a crazy person, and I might be. But it's amazing the type of mood that you're in after that and just how good you feel.
Well, see, there's no difference between the cold tub and me drinking hot coffee out at training camp.
A little bit. Yeah, there is.
You can be mentally tough.
I mean, yeah, but what are the? Okay, I guess so, man. I was gonna say, what are the benefits? But you're caffeinated and you're hyped up. So yeah, you're right.
More sweating.
You're more sweating
to get in hot tub figure
More
shape.
sweating. I like it, dude. I like it. So once again, you have a month, Brent.
I got a month. I'll be ready to go.
Cool.
By Labor Day. Hey, so the observations from camp today, Trevor Lawrence, 3 interceptions, not his best day. That's the headline for sure that folks are talking about. I thought it got a little heated, by the way, between Cam Robinson and Kayvon Chason. Then Walker Little and Kayvon Chason had some battles as well. So maybe just a prelude of what's to come with the pads going on tomorrow at camp. And my other observation is another one on Urban Meyer, but it was more just how active he is coaching. Really from a position group to a position group, going to jump in a drill and share his knowledge and really just take a player by the jersey and be like, hey, you should go here instead of there, It's kind of fun to watch him coach right now. He's not just patrolling the field, giving a talk after practice, before practice. There's more to it. He's very actively involved and getting his nose right in there, doing some coaching. And, listen, I think everybody's got a different style, but I think it's an interesting observation coming off if you go all the way back to when he was hired, he said, listen, I'm going to delegate some. I'm not going to run around like a maniac. And I think he's kept a nice balance of that. He's not running around like a maniac, but he's still, you can notice that he's very involved in drills and coaching. And a lot of that was highlighted this weekend with DJ Chark. That was a conversation piece that he has been working like before practice with DJ Chark. And a lot of that is he thought he could be better at that one moment. I think he's called it like a snapshot drill, where they will basically take the film and stop it at a certain point, and like it's an impact point where either the DB is going to make a play or the wide receiver is going to make a play, and he thinks DJ can get better at that. And so there's been a lot of focus before practices with Urban Meyer working on that kind of stuff with DJ Chark. So heavily involved.
Yeah, for sure. Really involved, and it goes to show just what the goal is. You know, when we talk about the combine or you have scouts that evaluate talent, it's so crazy how in-depth we get in terms of, okay, you know, this player's history, you know, what type of, you know, is he self-motivated? Did you have to motivate? Like, all these things go into the evaluation process. But what you don't get into it is how do they respond to coaching and how do they learn? And that's probably the biggest thing. And once again, maybe it's changed in, you know, since 2010 when I was there, but nobody asked me, hey, how do you learn? You know, like what, how do you learn the best? Are you a visual learner? Do you have to be doing it? Do you have to go on the board? Do you have to watch a video? Everybody learns differently. And it's almost like when you're a football team or you're a scout, you're evaluating talent, it's like, well, you have to do it our way or else it's not going to work out for you. And I think that's the wrong way to go about things. And I think another thing that you can add to Urban Meyer right now, what he's trying to accomplish is he's getting a sense for how do these guys handle the coaching? How do they take the coaching? Because every player on that team will handle it differently. There's some guys where if you get after them a little bit, you yell at them, they get flustered. There's some guys who their automatic response is going to be to try to, you know, jaw back a little bit and talk back. There's some guys who just take it with a grain of salt and move on, and there's some guys who get really nervous around you then. You know, everybody handles coaching differently. But what's important is to find out, well, how does each player handle it so I can kind of tailor, you know, make my, you know, my coaching philosophies for that player. I think that's what Urban Meyer is doing as well. And you talk about the high-profile guys, like a DJ Chark, you know, like I saw with Travis Etienne a little bit. These high-profile guys who you will be counting on, you got to know how they have to be coached.
Yeah, it's a good point. You've always brought this up when we talk about combine or something that you'd like to see change is how do you learn is an interesting question. You know, it's especially interesting coming off this last year when so many kids had to learn virtually versus in person. Even that is different. Sometimes it hits on people's strengths and weaknesses, but from a football standpoint, you say that nobody really asked that, so therefore the coaches have to learn that, and especially if you don't have a relationship with that player prior, and Urban Meyer's in that process of doing it. What else is different is obviously this acclimation to the NFL. For Urban Meyer, for the rookies, but also for Charlie Strong, who's been in the college game for so long and very close to Urban Meyer. He's Urban Meyer's right-hand man, and today after practice, we went one-on-one with Charlie Strong.
Just overall, you know, very pleased with where we are right now. We know we still have a lot of work ahead of us, but we just got to look at it each and every day where we got to own it and just try to get better.
You've been around this stuff for so long. Can you just tell when there's a good group of guys, a responsive group of players buying into what you guys are doing?
Well, what you always try to look at, Brent, is just how they are amongst one another. And then if you can just see them just joking around and they're respecting one another, and then they start trusting and believing in one another, then it all starts coming together for you. But what we've asked them to do so far, they've done it. They've had no resistance at all.
How are you doing in your role? This is a little bit different of a role, I would assume, from what you've done in the past. Does it feel kind of like a head coaching role for what you're doing?
Well, Coach Meyer gives me a lot of responsibility, and so I think there's, you know, me having the different roles that I've had in the past, you know, this role here, it's no different. You know, I just try to make sure that I try to make, you know, stay on top of my guys and make sure they do what they're supposed to do, and then just talk to the team and try to get them going and make sure we're heading in the right direction.
How do you feel about that linebacker group? You got some really good talent. Obviously, Miles coming off a fantastic year, but you guys have players shuffling in and out with all these different schematical things. What's that group look like?
Well, you look at it, you have Miles, the guy who's proven, and then you have Joe, who's proven, and then we got Damon through free agency, and then you got a group of guys with Dakota, you got Shaq, you got Quincy, you have Deuce, Chappelle, but we have a group of guys there that have really been working. And it's a really good, solid group. You know, the thing about them is just they know what is expected of them. They know that linebacker position, a lot comes with it, because you expect that guy to be the leader and a guy who can just take the team and just do everything you ask him to do, but it has to start with that position.
We have been very used to around here this 4-3 scheme. I think for basically the history of the Jags, it's kind of been 4-3. It's going to look a little bit different. I know nobody's getting wrapped up in the 3-4 versus 4-3, but it's multiple at the very least from what Joe Cullen has told us. How different will this defense look?
Well, you have to be very multiple now, because offenses force your hand. And now when you look at offenses, they're going to spread you out. So now you got to be able to match up. So they cause you to match up, but then you got to be able to bring pressure when you can and just put pressure on offense. You know, don't let them dictate the flow of the game. We have to be able to dictate the flow of the game on defense.
What do you notice when pads go on as a coach?
You know, I'm excited because I just want to see it on this level, because, you know, a lot of times in college you have your questions about, you know, what if this guy's going to hit, if this guy's going to hit, what's he going to do? But these are professionals. They've had on pads before. So I just want to see just the tempo of it and just a competitive, you know, who's going to go out and compete and just show you what they have and show you that each and every play.
What are your impressions of Coach Meyer and his adaptation to the NFL as you're doing it as well? But you have a front row seat.
Well, I think that what Coach have done is that he himself has really bought into it, like his whole role and what he wants to do. And it's been fun just watching him and how he goes about it each and every day, Brent. And I'm just so excited for him. And even his coaching staff, when you are a proven winner, you know, whatever level that you coach on, you know this, what have gotten you to where you are because of the success that you've had. And you've had a lot of success, so he's able to step up, and guys respect him, because you look at how the players are going to respect him, and the players really respect him.
First overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. He looks good to us out here. What do you see that we don't see?
Well, I really love Trevor, and I think he's a competitor, and he's a guy that works. You know, he works at it. You know, and he has came in here and he wants to work. You know, he's getting around with the coaches. He's asking for extra time, but you look at him and you know that you have something special.
That is Charlie Strong, right-hand man for Urban Meyer. And, again, overall, this is going really well, I think. If you would kind of lay it out, or I'm sure they did, because he's very detailed, Urban Meyer and Charlie Strong, I kind of envision their first meeting together. And they knew they were going to kind of do this thing together. And he probably said, okay, we got to do this in the first 3 months, and we got to do this in the next 3 months. And then when we hit the field, here's what we hope to do. And then in year one, and then year two, and, you know, all this stuff. Like, that's what you do. I mean, if you're a leader of an organization like he is, he's got a plan. This isn't just like, hey, let's wake up today and see what's happening. He's got a plan. And I wonder how much of their plan and where they saw that might be some bumps in the road or pushback from players or whatever it might be. I wonder how that marries up to reality right now. And my guess is they would be scoring very well. And in some spots exceeding what they expected, because Charlie Strong, even after we did our conversation, he met with the media, and I was there for that too. And he said, you know, everybody told us that NFL players are so different and they're not going to like this, not going to like that. He said, we really haven't seen a lot of that, you know? And sure, there are going to be some differences. They probably will encounter, but the buy-in right now out of this team, and he kind of said, this is what happens when people want to win, they'll do anything. And there is definitely that hunger inside that building. And I think as a fan, if you're listening to that stuff, I think that's nice to hear. I mean, that shows you there's a sense of urgency amongst these players. There's a want to amongst the players. The buy-in and the synergy between the coaching staff certainly can't hurt. Again, I say all this understanding that they're 0-0. You know, they're 0-0. They have not won or lost a game, and there is going to be adversity here in 2021. They are not a premier team in the NFL by any stretch. I do think it gives you a little bit of optimism for them to overachieve, though. I think they have the recipe as of now to overachieve in 2021.
You know, when we talk about Charlie Strong, we talk about Urban Meyer's right-hand man. What do you think the end game is for Charlie Strong?
That's a good
Like,
call.
do you think he cements himself here as a coach for a long time in Jacksonville, or do you think he parlays this and maybe goes on in a different direction, maybe as a coordinator or even a head coach sometime in the NFL?
It's a good call. I would say this. I think people, I don't know what age it is, or Charlie's, done so many different things. I think people get to a spot where they like to be around certain people they like, kind of aiming for the same goal. This is a fun project in Jacksonville if you're a football guy, trying to be the guy to turn it around or help be part of it. And I think he enjoys being around Urban Meyer. And so I think he's here for the long haul. I think this is a good gig for him right now. I think he's going to be here next to Urban Meyer for as long as Urban Meyer's here.
Cool.
That's my gut right now. I mean, it's very early in that game, obviously. Hey, what's the coach say about Tim Tebow, and how do you feel about the chances for Tebow to make the team as we now have entered August? Talk about that coming up. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Heavy showers and thunderstorms into this evening, and temperatures overnight in the low 70s. Your Tuesday will be partly to mostly cloudy with showers and heavy thunderstorms likely, not as hot in the mid to upper 80s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beard's Diamonds.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This has been a test of the emergency alert system. Thank you for listening to ESPN 690.
Anyone can talk like they're a big dog, but few actually walk the talk. We're not the only plumbing company claiming same-day water heater service. In fact, a lot of customers have called us after other companies failed to come through on their same-day service talk. Fortunately, Griffin Service delivers. We eat big dogs for lunch. And we fix what others can't. Some of that's knowing the science, engineering, and craft of AC and plumbing better than the Bubbas, but it's also better planning. The key to actually doing same-day water heater replacement is having water heaters in stock and ready to go. And that's what we do. Gas, electric, tank, tankless, we got them all in stock and ready to roll for you. So if you want to avoid the bait-and-switch turd bucket tactics of the Bubbas, or if you discover you're in the middle of an all-talk, no-walk situation with a wannabe, well, you know who to call, right?
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Goodyear believes in the power of moving forward. No matter if it's on the track, the court, or the field, movement makes us want to be more. It pushes us to go further, to show the world what we can do. Movement has the unique ability to change our perspective, to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still. Because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven.
Temperatures keep climbing, and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure the water you and your family drink is cleaner, healthier, and tastes great. It starts with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by the pros CGC Water. Not sure about your water? Call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. I haven't had to worry about my water since I got mine installed because Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of the contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, non-electric, twin tanks that use less salt and water during regeneration. Save up to $500 on select softener and RO systems this month. Financing available with approved credit. Call CGC Water at 904-552-1242. Call and ask about Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Tell them Brent sent you and find out all the details and all the great ways you can save. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Just be positive.
Just be a happy homeowner. With a Community First Mortgage Champions, you'll know you're getting the best deal and a great experience. You'll get a super rate, close in as little as 30 days, save about $3,000 in closing costs, and enjoy championship service at every step. So you're as happy buying your home as the day you move in. Well, almost. Apply or learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Ronald McDonald House of Jacksonville will host its inaugural Sporting Clays Classic event Friday, September 17th, 9 a.m. at Jacksonville Clay Target Sports. Enjoy an afternoon of busting clays, amazing auctions, contests, awards, and gifts, all while supporting critically ill children. To learn more, visit www.rmhcjacksonville.org. Proceeds support Ronald McDonald House of Jacksonville, which provides lodging, meals, transportation, and compassionate care to families of critically ill children.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Do you know what time it is? It's time for you to buy a boat. Seriously, it's time that you bought a boat. And you should get the boat loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. You can finance up to 100% of the purchase and not make a payment for 60 days. So stop thinking about buying a boat and go out and buy a boat. Just do it smart with financing from 1-to-1 Financial. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Everyone wants you to buy a boat.
As vacations come to a close, schools are about to reopen, crime is on the rise, and homeowners are worried for their family's safety and personal property. Do I need cameras? Do I need a security system? These may be questions you're asking yourself. That's why SafeTouch's licensed professionals are going to guide you through the whole process. Imagine never leaving your family home alone again. The SafeTouch two-way communicator is the push of a button away. Anything from a bruised elbow to a stranger at your door. Maybe it's your car sitting out all night that worries you. The SafeTouch camera provides notifications before your car's even touched and video with 24/7 recording. For everything that's important to you, SafeTouch has you covered. Their verified response guarantees the fastest possible emergency response in the industry. SafeTouch consultants are registered fire and burglar agents with the state. You can have 100% confidence in the design and installation of your SafeTouch system. Get your free consultation today and see the SafeTouch difference. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. Florida license number EF0000233 and LVA 004188.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. After the crash, call the police and document the scene by taking photos of all the vehicles involved. If you were injured, get medical attention as soon as possible. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Keeps wanting to do this. He's got good hands. In drill work, he's great. And when you get in the competitive moment, just lack of experience, he wants to body the ball. And when you get into the point where two people going after it, you got to go get the ball. So he's fighting through that a little bit, but he's got the skill set to catch the ball.
That is Urban Meyer on Tim Tebow. Really the first kind of evaluation, constructive criticism of Tebow into this camp. I'll tell you, I'm on the side where I don't think Tebow makes the roster. That was me coming into camp.
That was me as well.
I will say I believe watching OTAs and mini camp, and very few samples, by the way. I think we're allowed out for 5 of them. And now these first handful of days of practice, he does not drop a lot of footballs. Now, knock on wood for Tim.
Yeah.
But he really has caught the ball. And I know this, like, well, that's what tight end's supposed to do. But I do think there's this element of, all right, Tim's trying this out. When's he going to be out there just falling all over himself, not be able to catch a football, have stone hands, not be able to run a route? Well, it's not that. That's the point. The point of it, and I said this before, is he looks the part. It's not like this, wow, he really sticks out. The thing that makes him stick out in that tight end world is his height.
Correct.
Because he's not 6'5" and 6'6", and that's what those guys are. But if you disregard the height for a moment, you're not watching the way he moves or the way he catches a ball or drops a ball, and you're like, where'd this guy come from? Like, you're not really saying that. And I think I've said it before, I think it's the best compliment I can give Tebow, is that he kind of has fit in their tight end room, at least at the practices we've seen now, which is going on double digits over the last few months.
Yeah, it's never been to the point like where he showed that he doesn't belong. He looks, he looks like he belongs out there. Now, what does that all mean in the long run? We'll see, because once again, knock on wood with, injuries and everything, but if everybody stays healthy, I think it's going to be hard for him to make this team as just a tight end. And I think that, his teammates know that. I think everybody knows that. Now, once again, if you want to talk about the gadget plays and stuff like that and the Taysom Hill-esque of an Urban Meyer offense, well, then you might have something there. But I just think as a bona fide H-back or a tight end, once again, we'll see with preseason what it looks like, but I think it's going to be hard.
Yeah, I think it's hard too. And I thought that was a good analysis by Urban Meyer, because I know exactly what that makes sense. He does have good hands. We've seen him go out and catch the ball, but he does seemingly catch it on his body. So it looks a little different, maybe even at times a little awkward than the other players who've been now working on their craft for year after year after year. I mean, this is new to him. And you got to tip your cap for as quickly as he's adapted. But, he does not look like he doesn't belong. The question becomes, is he good enough to make the 53-man roster? And there are 6 tight ends that he's going to compete with. And Manhurts is one they've invested in. He's a blocking tight end. He's going to make the team. O'Shaughnessy is really their top tight end. He got back to practice today, which is a good thing. And he's obviously on the team. And then you have a guy like Tyler Davis, who was a draft pick last year out of Georgia Tech. Didn't show much last year. Where is he in the competition? Ellefson is a guy who Urban Meyer has spoken highly of in the offseason, has taken a step since what they saw on film. So,
and Luke Farrell, they're not going to cut him.
And Farrell's really a blocking guy, right? I mean, that's what he's there for. And then that's the other part of it. We have not seen Tim Tebow block yet. Tomorrow's an important day for Tebow.
Yeah.
Not just tomorrow, but tomorrow will be a new day.
Yeah.
For Tim Tebow.
It's going to be different.
Right?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be different, because it's one thing to block, 50%, 70%, or just even on air on trash cans. It's another thing when it's 100%, it's ramped up, and you're going through live rounds. Blocking is completely different. So, yeah, I'm very curious to see how he responds to that.
But don't you think that part, now, again, technique is a whole part of it, but the physical nature, that's the one thing. You tweet a video or a picture of Tebow and it's like, oh, my God, like he's jacked up, right?
No,
obviously, he look physical-wise, he looks the part. Now, there's a mentality to blocking.
There is.
Does he have that? He was a quarterback, okay? He wasn't a blocker. He could be a physical runner and a physical player at the QB position, still different. And I think even more so than that, Austin, is the technique. I mean, the technique of blocking, what you see from a defender coming on, I have no idea, because I've never done it. I don't know how quick of an adaptation that will be and how hard that is. I don't know if that's just a simple thing or if that's a very difficult thing.
I'll be honest, it's not easy by any means. Like when I think about some of the great tight ends that I went against in practice, whether it's Mercedes Lewis, who's a great blocker, whether it was Martellus Bennett, who was a very violent type of blocker, it definitely is a mindset thing, but it's also it is technique, and it's explosiveness. Because when we talk about a good blocker, and this is what Tim Tebow is going to have to do, it's one thing to be strong, it's one thing to be athletic, but you have to put it all together. And if you take one little false misstep, if there's one little hitch in your step or hitch in, in terms of how you bring your arms up, you will be exposed. You will be exposed that play. So it's obviously like what makes Mercedes Lewis great and what made Martellus Bennett great blocking in the run game is they've done it a million times. They know what it looks like, and there's nothing you could throw at them that they haven't seen before, right? Because sometimes you want to throw a blitz or a stun or something like that, and it's on the tight end to identify that and either down block to fan block, whatever the case may be. They've seen all of that. Tim Tebow, I would say he's probably seen minimal in terms of stunts, in terms of blitzes, and things of that nature. So when we talk about that, yeah, that's not something you can just go in there day one and say, oh, I know what's going to happen here. I know he's going to. No, that takes experience. It takes time. I wonder if he's going to have problems with that.
Well, and that's an interesting part of today's NFL. You don't get a lot of reps at that to begin with. Mm-hmm. And that's if you're a guy that's played the position for a long time. So he's not going to get, just because of how many practices you can have with pads on, how much physical contact you can have, you're not going to get a ton of reps on that. Yeah. So the samples are going to be very important. I mean, he's going to have to really shine and do well on the limited reps that he does get anyway. But I mean, to your point, that might be the hardest thing, actually, of transitioning here to the tight end. You can go to a jugs machine and you can work on your hands, right?
Yes,
and if you got good hands, sometimes you just have good hands.
Yes.
And there's thought about by a lot of people that Tebow could play that tight end position because they saw his hands. They said he could. He just didn't want to play that tight end position. Mm-hmm. So that might be the easiest part of the transition, believe it or not, to play in the tight end. All the nuances of it could be the difficult part, and we're about to see it with the blocking. But if you're a defensive player and you're lining up against Tebow, you've got a great deal of confidence, right? Because you're like, I'm going to eat his lunch here.
You're foaming at the mouth. I mean, I'll never forget what Joe Cullen told me my rookie year. If a tight end blocks you one-on-one, that is an insult to you.
Yeah, true.
That is
naturally for a defensive end anyway.
No, for sure. But that is an insult. Doesn't matter if you're Von Miller, weigh 245 pounds. Doesn't matter if you're Dwayne Smoot weighing whatever off the edge now, maybe 270, 280. If a tight end blocks you one-on-one, whether it's in the run game or the pass game, that is a disrespectful move to you, okay? And they're saying, we don't value you as a player because here's our tight end, have fun. I'm not sure if we'll see a lot of one-on-one blocking from Tim Tebow, but if this offense is going to, or if this defense is going to be what it's going to be, and it's going to be outside linebackers shaded out wide, Tim Tebow will be on an island sometimes. Now, how much do you drill it? How much do you practice it? How many reps does he get there? I'm not sure. But my only point is, okay, we have a guy in Manhurts right now who obviously he's made his money by blocking, right? Like we know that's what he's bringing to the table. Him in the receiving game, we haven't seen a lot out of. Time will tell. We know a guy like Luke Farrell, who once again is a pretty big-bodied guy, has experience blocking at the collegiate level, probably brought in because that's what he's good at. Once again, we'll see at the receiving level. So we have two pretty, I would say, bona fide to semi-decent run blockers at the tight end position, okay? You have James O'Shaughnessy, who obviously is your best receiver. So my point is, okay, we don't think that Tim Tebow is going to win any receiver battles right now based on what we've seen so far, because you have guys like O'Shaughnessy and maybe Farrell or Chris Manhurts or Tyler Davis can be suitable as well. So where does Tim Tebow have to make his money? Well, run blocking then, right? Well, you have Chris Manhurts and you have Luke Farrell here. So my point is, okay, if you're Tim Tebow, what do you have to do? You have to essentially come in now, full pads practice, first day tomorrow, and you got to make a statement. And I don't say you have to block people. You got to put people on their back to say, hey, I'm special at what I do here. I have to be like Mercedes Lewis. And no, I'm not just going to be savvy and cut off block. I got to put guys on their back. That's, I feel like, what Tim Tebow's got to do to try to make a name for himself as a run-blocking H-back or whatever it's going to be, or a tight end, because you have guys ahead of you who do a pretty good job at it.
I don't think you keep him on the team for this, but is he better suited or best suited based on his size and maybe not putting him out there at tight end spot to be really a fullback?
Yeah, that's a possibility
because they don't
have
fullback on the roster, so they can utilize a tight end. Do they keep an extra for that? Potentially special teams and a fullback, and that could be his role.
That could be his role. But then Brent, let's be honest though. If that's the case, then why not just go after a fullback then who has more experience doing it?
I don't know.
You know, I mean, once again, and we'll see. But to me, it comes down to the combination of what he can do as a receiver, obviously, and as a blocker, but also what else can you do with him? And I'm not saying, no, not as a fullback, but also maybe as a backup quarterback in some sort of role or some kind of gadget play.
Keep in mind, you can keep veterans on the practice squad, so there might be a landing spot for Tebow there. It really comes down to a numbers game, but of the tight ends on the roster right now, it would appear that a couple of them will not make the 53. I think it's still a very uphill battle for Tim Tebow to make it, although I think he's impressed. And another thing, a lot of people wondered about how the dynamic would be at Tim Tebow. He has settled in very nicely to just being another guy in that locker room. Charlie Strong talked about it again today. There's no ego involved. He's just another guy trying to make the team internally to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's been an interesting thing to watch. Pads go on tomorrow. It gets more interesting for Tebow and everyone else out there on the practice field. We'll be right back. Put a bow on the show. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Kellerman Show.
You know, there was no one there like, hey, where's that guy we just hired? He just stopped showing up suddenly 15 years ago. So you got to wait at 650 G's. And now he's being sued. I don't know. You can't just not show up for work, but if he's not like doing anything fraudulent and they're just sending him the checks, I mean, why wouldn't he just deposit it in his account?
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
For the ones going above and beyond. For the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand. For the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. Backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Trucks, and more trucks, plus over 300 Primo pre-owned, all makes and all models. Find it all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Arlington Toyota has some of the biggest pre-owned truck selection I've seen. I'm talking Tundras, Tacomas, imports, domestics. You'll find it all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Even better, you have 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. And with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, almost everyone is approved. Plus, Arlington will give you top dollar for your trade. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
Today's athletes deserve more than a sports drink. With potassium-packed electrolytes, no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes, Body Armor Sports Drink provides hard-working hydration and more. Stock up on Body Armor Sports Drink at your local Circle K, where Body Armor 28-ounce are 2 for $4 with the option to add one more for $1 at the register.
Purchasing home and auto insurance? Do it the Simply way with Simply IOA. Compare quotes and buy a policy, online or over the phone. Search Simply IOA or call 844-TALK-TO-SIMPLY. Simply IOA. Insurance the Simply way.
Anyone can talk like they're a big dog, but few actually walk the talk. We're not the only plumbing company claiming same-day water heater service. In fact, a lot of customers have called us after other companies failed to come through on their same-day service talk. Fortunately, Griffin Service delivers. We eat big dogs for lunch. And we fix what others can't. Some of that's knowing the science, engineering, and craft of AC and plumbing better than the Bubbas, but it's also better planning. The key to actually doing same-day water heater replacement is having water heaters in stock and ready to go. And that's what we do. Gas, electric, tank, tankless, we got them all in stock and ready to roll for you. So if you want to avoid the bait-and-switch turd bucket tactics of the Bubbas, or if you discover you're in the middle of an all-talk, no-walk situation with a wannabe, well, you know who to call, right?
GriffinService.com. CMC 1250-697.
Temperatures keep climbing and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure the water you and your family drink is cleaner, healthier, and tastes great. It starts with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by the pros CGC Water. Not sure about your water? Call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. I haven't had to worry about my water since I got mine installed because Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of the contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, non-electric, twin tanks that use less salt and water during regeneration. Save up to $500 on select softener and RO systems this month. Financing available with approved credit. Call CGC Water at 904-552-1242. Call and ask about Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Tell them Brent sent you and find out all the details and all the great ways you can save. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is always, we practice and we meet all day and we're trying to figure out little details, what we can get better at. And the biggest challenge is taking that to the field. And it's easy to write something down in a meeting, but actually, changing habits. And that's something that just takes time, muscle memory. And that's what I'm trying to work on. It's just little things I need to correct. And I think that's always the hardest and best thing about camp is you get the time to do that. So.
Trevor Lawrence not afraid of competition. The learning curve had a little bit of that today. 3 picks in practice really was the headline of today's practice. Tomorrow's another day. Pads go on tomorrow for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey here on a Monday. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Casey does the rundown. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, this is now Boss Man Nick and Casey doing rundowns. I don't know what the hell Kuz was doing for the first 2.5 years of this thing.
Riding coattails?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know he has 50 other jobs in the building. How's Kuz, by the way? You see him?
See him all the time, yeah. He's doing good.
Well?
I don't have my business cards, but he's doing good.
Yeah, still coming up empty.
Yeah, what are you going to do,
how hard is it to get business cards?
You would think, Brent, like if you have to
At least they have a budget on that side of the building.
Or who are you telling? Hey. Did you see the glamour shots that we got? We got glamour shots now.
You should have held out on the glamour shots until you got business cards.
I should have saved for the business cards and saved for the hot tub show that we got coming up here on YouTube or whatever or on Twitch, whatever, the stream.
There we go.
It's all about the marketing dollars.
Casey's all in on that.
Yeah.
We're getting some ideas on YouTube.
I have no shame.
So Casey makes the rundown. Mm-hmm. Does a nice job with it.
It's so, can I just say, by the way, it's crazy how, this is what we're talking about today. Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, I don't have to plan out the show? You don't have to plan out the show? Casey's got us?
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
And we're supposed to jump in.
We're supposed to help out.
We'll get rocking and rolling. Don't worry, Casey.
Busy.
You're doing such a good job.
Yeah.
He did ask this, and that was a pretty goal last night by the men's national team, huh?
Incredible.
Are you a soccer guy?
Yeah.
So, I'm not wrapped up in it, but I was watching a little bit. Weber had it on in the sports office, and then obviously it went to extra time, and the goal was fantastic. You don't have to love soccer to appreciate the goal.
Correct.
But it was like a big moment, right? It's beating Mexico. I know they didn't have all their players, but neither did we, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We've beat them twice in the summer for trophies, which is a big deal. And this one's a big deal because, like you said, it's none of our A team, if you will. These guys show that they can compete with Mexico, who is the United States' biggest rival. It was good. It was good all around for United States soccer.
And it was for the CONCACAF.
Yes, it was.
As we've talked about
Stuart
a
was there
times.
in Austin for the semifinals, or if that's what they call them.
Okay.
On,
Wait, that's what he went to?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought he was going to just an Austin football club.
No, he went and saw TVSA play.
I got you.
Now, this one was in Vegas last night.
Okay.
So obviously he didn't go to that, but
yeah.
So he was there for a little bit of the run. Will we ever? I think people want to care about the U.S. men's national team in soccer. I think they really do.
Mm-hmm.
But they have leaps and bounds to go until we all care about the U.S. men's national team.
I think it's close.
You do?
Than you expect.
Really?
They're not going to win the World Cup or anything, but they're going to qualify. They're going to surprise some people.
But that's my point. Is qualifying is that the barometer? Is that what?
This isn't a country of consolation prizes, everybody.
We don't like silver or bronze
we
medals
don't do
at the
participation
Olympics.
awards. We do gold or nothing.
Listen, qualifying would be nice. It's a good start.
Yeah.
But
I mean, technically, because people love the cheer for the women because the women always win.
Well,
I was going to say, but now
morning.
Canada had other
we
plans.
shouldn't be losing to Canada in
wow,
soccer.
Here we go, Brent. Here we go. You on a pedestal?
Should we?
No.
Well, no, we shouldn't.
It's hockey. It's okay.
It's expected almost. It's like, yeah.
It is
but
expected.
we're too good in women's soccer.
You're absolutely right.
We have reached that point where we're too good to lose to Canada.
We gonna do this? You gonna call it the women's soccer team? Let's go.
I'm just saying
go
how
and put
it
a header
is.
out there. Brent Martineau calls out women's national team. Let's go. What do you got to say about it?
He's not the only one.
We celebrate you.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah.
44 match unbeaten streaks.
Yes.
All the rest.
Yeah. Impressive resume.
Listen, we're with you. But don't lose to Canada.
Don't lose to Canada.
And by the way, this was a very disappointing Olympics overall anyway for the U.S. women's national team.
Yes, correct.
Did not perform well.
Got beat by Sweden 3-0. Not good. 3-0.
It was like 0-0 against like Australia, right?
True.
And now they're going to have to try to beat Australia to win the bronze, which now how locked in will they be? Who knows?
Gonna have a foot in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I would.
I think
they are right. It is too bad that we don't celebrate bronze and silver as much as we probably should in
True.
the Olympics. Like, we really don't.
No, it's
we
ridiculous.
have this elite status about
it's
us
so
in the
ridiculous.
U.S.
Like, if you win a bronze, you're the third best at what you do in the entire world.
I know. It's a shame that we don't.
3? Yeah. we need the top 1 percentile or else, yeah, it is what it is. It's insane.
I think what's more incredible about what Caleb Dressel did is he was expected to win all those golds, and he did.
Yeah.
If you look at the other United States teams or athletes that were supposed to win gold, Simone Biles, she obviously has something else going on, but the women's soccer team was supposed to win gold. They will not. The basketball team, who knows? It looks like they might not. And the baseball team has a real uphill battle after losing today.
Yeah, they lost to Japan.
But you know what's wild to me too, Brent? It's the fact that you ever like watch the announcers, like they have no problem bad mouthing these athletes in terms of like, oh, they're like I was watching women's wrestling today. They had the gold medal finals and everything. Adeline Gray, she was like the heavyweight for the women.
Okay.
Was in the finals, taking on this girl from Germany, and like so Adeline Gray was number 1 in the world. The girl in Germany, I think, was number 2 or 3. It was supposed to be a landslide for Adeline Gray. She doesn't get it done. She lost, like, I want to say it was 8-3 or whatever. So the German girl did well. All right, so Adeline Gray didn't show up that match. Whatever, she got a silver medal. But the whole time they're like, wow, this is not the Adeline Gray we were accustomed to. Like, usually we see dominant performances. Is she injured? Like, it's just,
she had an off,
yeah, exactly. It's like she had an off day. And by the way, this German girl was bringing it. So, like, what do you want from the girl? I mean, it just happens sometimes.
It is. It's a tough. Listen, I think we saw it in the pool. I mean, I think you saw it with Caleb Dressel. I could see it on his face. It was almost a relief to win the gold at times. I think Ryan Murphy, when he didn't win gold in the back because we've dominated that sport, he was so disappointed. You could see it in his face. I mean, obviously, everybody's disappointed if they don't win or didn't feel like they were in their best, swim their best race. But there's just some, like, it really, to me, put the Simone Biles conversation in context. Because if you look at some of the favorites that we have in the pool, on the track, wherever else, and if they don't, you can see whether they get it done or not. You can see the stress. And I forget which swimmer it was. Was it King that is the one that said we don't celebrate silver or bronze? I mean, and we really should. You know, you're right. I mean, we really should, because any one of us would sign up for a silver or bronze medal in anything that we do when it comes to the world. You know, so it's a pretty damn good accomplishment.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, because you're the only swimmer. Case, did you swim back in the day? Like, are you?
Yeah, I had a pool.
But like a competitive swimmer? Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay. Anyways, Brent, you're a former swimmer. When the goggles fall off, is that a really big deal? Because that happened to Lydia Jacoby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her goggles fell off during the breaststroke. Okay.
But it's like in my opinion, I tweeted, they over-dramatized that thing. She still had a pretty good swim.
Okay.
It wasn't her fastest swim, but it was a pretty good swim.
Yeah.
And that didn't lose. They were kind of made that up like she lost the race. To be honest with you, it was the third leg, the fly, that lost. They eliminated themselves on they couldn't even get to Dressel didn't even matter in that race.
Yeah.
Not because the goggles fell off, but because they weren't as strong in the fly.
They were treating it like a national disaster. Like, oh no, her goggles have fallen off. Oh no. But they're treating it like
happened to every one of them.
Okay.
Like,
It's pretty
multiple
common?
times. Yeah.
Does it happen at the Olympics, though? Because I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, it's happened. Now, it's not ideal.
Not a good publicity thing for the goggle maker, right? Or is that
That's
more
really
user
usually
error?
it's usually the way you dive in.
Okay.
Yeah.
The best part was when they showed her in like the warm-up pool, because she went back there after and it happened again. And they were like, oh, look, it happened again.
Maybe it's the goggles. By the way, so on our rundown, we had to accentuate the word swept today.
Swept?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Red Sox swept
by
the race.
Yes.
Brewers are 5-1 in the last 6. I see where he's going here.
And now we got a series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates.
Yeah, you better take care of business as you laugh about it.
The Pirates.
1st and 10 training camp coming up tonight. CBS 47, Fox 30, 11:15. Make sure you check that out. Sign up for the Dream 18 at Action Sports Shacks, dream18.com. Love to have you out September 20th at the Golf Club at Southampton. Thanks to Cadillac Law Offices, Ron Scholes, Jacksonville Giants, and Best Bet for all their support with our Dream 18. That's going to do it for today. No picks tomorrow, Trevor. Pads go on. We'll have reports from camp. 3 o'clock tomorrow on ESPN 690.